on the expedition were literally called the Erebus and the Terror. So I was like, what did you expect? Could you not have called your boats the Having a Nice Time and the...
Not frozen and eating each other?
The not cannibalism, definitely not cannibalism.
Well, I mean, one of the things that you get to do one of the first things you get to do in this game is name your boat.
Cool.
So have a...
yes, I told Jill, from what I knew about it, I told Jill that it was a bit Call of Cthulhu, a bit Innsmouthy. That's all I really knew.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you have a look at the merchant there, the picture of the merchant is actually Murray. He kickstarted this to the extent that he actually got to appear in the game. So
I was going to say either that or Liam Neeson.
Now we are actually streaming live right now,
okay.
but we're not streaming any video or audio. At least I hope not.
Okay.
If we are streaming audio,
is this mic live? Is this mic live?
That's right. Is this mic live? If we are streaming,
who's mic live?
If we are streaming live, please tell us.
I'll just do a Peter Dutton.
I like the boatswain has dress, versatile sailor's garb, elegant frilled coat or breeches, but no shirt.
That's right.
Does he not wear a shirt? Or is it just that they cannot be frilled?
Test 1, 2. Maybe we are broadcasting sound. Yes, we are. We are broadcasting sound.
Splendid.
Let's see if I can fix that. Sorry guys, we'll be live shortly. All right.
Which I hope is not disallowed. Is it okay if I stitch?
Hello, everybody. Yes, yes, please. Hello. My name is Derek. We are the Dice Stormers. I'm going to alter that just a little bit,
Not disallowed.
and I'm going to have to. Hello, everybody. Yes, yes, please. Mute that. We are the Dice Stormers. You are watching the Alas for the Awful Sea. Thank you for joining us on our live stream. We've not live streamed from this location before. This is my house, and so again, as with all things to do with the live stream, if there are any problems with the sound or the audio, please let us know in the chat. In fact, if anybody is watching and you could let us know that that you can see and hear us in the chat below, that would be great. So we have two very special guests today. This is Gillian and Dan, and they are currently reading the various character sheets that I've provided to them. So we will give them a little moment to read those and go through them. But they are new players to our live stream, but not new players to me. I've Dungeon Mastered them in several D&D scenarios and settings. So we are also waiting for Murray. That is our third player. So he is just en route, and hopefully he shall arrive any second now. But Alas for the Awful Sea is a game created by the Story Brewers role-playing company, and they are very close to us here in Sydney, and we played with them whilst they were doing their Kickstarter for this very game, and I loved it, and I loved the setting, and I've written a couple of scenarios, and you can look through our YouTube channel and find my other Alas for the Awful Sea game, the one where we played live on the Kickstarter, and a few others that the Story Brewers themselves have put together. So
I think this guy's name could be Piercy. That's a good name.
Piercy, yeah.
Look, we have a Murray.
A Murray. A wild Murray.
Wild Murray appears.
And we go and open the door for him. Where's he going? Where are you going to get back?
Sorry, mate.
That's all right.
I headed straight to the back now.
Where's Freeman?
How are you?
No way.
Come in and sit down.
Hey Murray, how are you?
I'm well. Hello.
Have you guys met?
Yeah, we met at
Yeah.
PAX.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
I think I'm going to play the Scholar.
The Scholar?
Yeah. That seems good casting
Just
for
got
me.
off a 4-hour podcast. I think I spoke for about 3. Page 4.
Yes, we won't worry about that. I think
I'll
we're doing...
leave it back. I'll put it back in.
All right. You have your copy of the
It's a lovely little book.
It is.
It is.
It's a beautifully put together book. You can purchase Alas for the Awful Sea from the Story Brewers website, which I believe I put in the description.
All right. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I'm late. Who do I get to be?
We're just choosing characters at the moment.
Okay. All right. I'll pick last. Happy.
Now, the Alas for the Awful Sea is all based on a boat. So all of the characters here, all of the players are members of a boat, and they're travelling around the British Isles in around the 1800s. So there's a lot of, I guess it's fairly sort of adult themes. So we're in a situation where the life is harsh, brutal, and short, and
What's changed?
sorry,
What's changed?
what's changed? But it's also cold and wet, and particularly if you're on a boat. So we will be exploring the islands around Wales and
Or the whales around Ireland.
all the Wales
Yes.
around Ireland.
All the whales around the islands around... Oh, wait, what?
So
Scott, what are the other options?
Oh, sorry.
No, no.
Have you picked?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Surgeon.
Okay.
you have the merchant there, Murray.
I know. I think I might have to go the merchant, just because.
I like the set of characters. They're all very cool.
I have to go the merchant.
Yeah, we were told that it's,
Yeah.
You have a starring role.
I backed to a particular level the Kickstarter.
Did you get to
therefore-
pick which one you were?
No, I got told which one I was.
Oh, really?
I had to supply a photograph and a descriptor. So,
Well, it would have been no fun if they'd given you like the criminal or the paedophile.
well, luckily though, I don't believe that they're at time.
Bummer.
Look, I mean,
This boat's going to be great.
Yeah.
there are people who are close to being pedophiles. I mean, the Outcast is rather kind of spooky.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Invisible. Nice to have you with us. So, aside from choosing a character, you need to choose a descriptor. And the descriptor is kind of gives your character a bit more flavour, and was a bit of a sort of a stretch goal. And so have a look through those as well. But alas, comes with a whole bunch of, I guess, free stuff. There's 3 different scenarios that you can download and print out from their website. All of the character sheets and the descriptors are available on the website as well. So it's a very sort of digital experience as much as a physical one. If you want to purchase the book, you can do that. But if you want to just use PDFs and all that sort of stuff, it's equally amenable to that.
Wow, these are good.
Okay, yeah. Tell me which one do you like?
These are good. Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's just a toss-up between the Outcast and the Creature.
The Creature is
choosing all the positives there. I can tell simply by the name.
It's going to be a very uplifting story we're telling today.
Look, it's not a pretty world, the world of Alas for the Awful Sea. So,
well, yeah, with a title like that, hooray!
That's right.
They went with the working title of Happy Fun Boat Times, but I think that didn't strike as much of a chord.
No, we could pitch that to Haley as a sequel to this Happy Fun Boat Times.
Yeah. Pleasant trips on the Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah.
Who we gone with?
Well, I think unless you take that one, I'm going to take that one.
I kind of want to be Creature.
Okay, go for it then.
All right.
Oh, right.
I'm going to do the Outcast then.
The Outcast, the Creature, and the others.
I'm assuming also that everyone has to take different ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feeling all
So tell
nice.
us about the combination of the Scholar and the Outcast that you have there.
Well, by the look of my Scholar here on the page,
yep,
that guy's definitely committed some sort of hideous sin and hasn't told anybody about it, right?
Right.
That guy's definitely hiding something. I was excited about the idea of the Creature because I think there's a really nice combination there in terms of forbidden.
Have it back.
No, that's all right. In terms of forbidden knowledge and becoming something you you do not mean to. But I really like the combination of character templates and these descriptors.
Yes,
and the fact that just the number multiplied is a whole bunch of different combinations that you can put together.
Yeah, it definitely gives a whole new aspect to your character, so it's a lot of fun. So what area of scholarly pursuits are you most equipped in?
I think I am a physicist.
A physicist, okay.
We're in the 1800s, right?
Yes.
So physics is still a
new science?
Sort of a rudimentary science, something akin to magic for a lot of people, I think. But I'm determined that there is order in the universe.
And what would your use be on the boat? Is there a mission that you're trying to find out?
I think you'll have to check my history. If astrophysicists existed at this stage, I might be
astrologers. You mean
astrologer? I might have been aboard the boat to conduct some observations and experiments. Perhaps the transit of a comet or something
of the heavens.
Like that.
Yes, that sounds perfect. So, yeah, when was Halley's Comet?
Every 76 years.
Every 76 years, and if we
count back.
Oh, let's
it was
check
80,
that.
88, 89?
86. It was 86, so 1910. So 76, 1910 minus 76, 1824.
1824. I think it's
1824.
1824. I think you're here to observe and
wow.
chart the movement of this
Passage
comet.
of Halley's Comet.
Passage of Halley's
Did I
Comet.
get that right? Oh my gosh.
That was pretty good.
That's-
man.
I got
That's
that right.
amazing.
That's the only bit of on fire.
That was some Rain Man shit,
Some
right?
Rain Man. No, because Rain Man would have gone boom. Let's just check. I'm going to fact check myself before anyone else can.
Yeah.
Unless I'm competing with someone in the chat.
It's something someone in the chat could resourcefully look up quickly.
Halley's Comet. Yeah.
I mean, you could just do
1823.
Can we see?
Oh,
Can we see
the
the
wrong way.
Can we see the
Yeah.
people in the chat?
I can see the people in the chat. So at the moment, just Mr. Invisible has popped his head up. I can't actually see how many.
No, you haven't, Mr. Invisible. Clearly not.
I can't see you, so I don't know if this is a personal trait of yours or.
I can't.
You want me to go into chat?
If you can go into chat, I can't see how many people are listening to us. So, if Mr. Invisible, if you could tell us where you're contacting us from, if you could tell us your location, would be great too.
He's in an island off Wales. No, what?
Right.
Whoa!
That's right.
If you live in a whale off the coast of an island, that'd be much more impressive. Jonah in the chat.
Wales off the islands off the coast of Wales.
Yes,
yeah.
Oh, I need a name. Are these?
I'm St. John by the sea.
Oh, the name suggestion is pretty good as well.
Spelled St. John by the sea, but said St. John by the sea.
St. John Bitsy.
In the
By the sea, by the sea, by the sea, by the sea.
When we first learned that St. John was pronounced St. John in the James Bond film, the Roger Moore one.
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
Which one was it? It was a Roger Moore one, so nobody cares. But
For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy.
Neversong, welcome from the UK. It must be very early there. I'm sorry for the timing.
It must be. Either they've stayed up or gotten up.
We can scribble on these, can't we?
Yeah, go for it.
Do you want a little pencil?
How do I do this?
I'm good.
I'm not playing
What do I want to do? I want to go to YouTube Live. How do I do that?
Just go to our...
Live, just where it says live.
Oh, there it says us.
And I should be able to get to the chat from there. Eight people are watching.
8 people watching.
Hello,
Well
8. The age of you.
Mr. Invisible is in Queensland. Very nice. So...
What a lovely way to spend a Saturday afternoon.
Gillian, who have you taken?
I have taken the surgeon,
The
and
surgeon.
I'm going to name her Charlotte Cabot.
And you are the outcast.
No, I'm the creature.
Oh, the creature, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even better.
Even better. Tell me about your creature tendencies. Now, before we go into that, Alas for the Awful Sea is a game where the mystical sort of gently brushes up against reality, where the elements of the fae and the fairy realm just peek through into the normal day lives of these people, and you are evidence of one such breach of the veil. So where do your mystical areas come from?
Well, I like to imagine that I've got. There's a lovely choice here of attributes. So we're going to go with small scales.
Oh, you've got small scales.
Yeah.
All over your body, or just
in certain places?
In certain places.
Probably easily hideable with a scarf.
Eczema.
That I
What are you talking about?
probably always wear, even in hot weather.
Fine. There's not much of that around. Not much hot weather.
And I've got a bit of a history of being able to cure illnesses and injuries beyond where they seem like they should be able to come back from.
Interesting. All right, that sounds excellent.
And this may or may not be associated with, for example, my magical blood.
Okay, so you're the way that you sort of most easily slipped into society is as a doctor,
Yeah.
as a surgeon. Right.
But I like to stick by the sea since,
Sure.
staying out of water for too long could be really bad for me.
Excellent. All right.
You're found on the bow, kind of like taking in the sea.
Yeah, just take me the spread. But in that same way that, like sharks have a very strong healing ability,
Yep.
That's something I can pass on to other people if I need to.
Excellent.
Not too often.
This is getting very interesting.
Definitely
All
those
right.
people I don't like.
Murray. St. John by the Sea.
St. John
by the Sea.
Yes, he's a merchant, and he lost his wife and children and everything he loved in an accident which he blames himself for. And in order to distract for however many years he's maintained it, he is a merchant sailing around the world, learning and trading in commodities and learning every nitty gritty about those commodities so that he doesn't have to dwell too much on what he did and who he is.
Okay. And you've taken the confidant.
I am the confidant. I am a secret keeper.
Yes.
Keeper of
Okay.
trust.
This is very interesting
So, yes.
aspect too. So, all right. So, everybody has access to these moves. So they're all here on this sheet. I've only printed this out once, but if you can share it amongst yourselves. All of the games interactions, all of your skills, all of the way that you interact with people or the environment is basically comes down to these moves here. They're things like read a situation, read another's thoughts, act with force, or manipulate another. All of these things are basically what you're going to be doing over the course of this game. And if somebody is doing something like pushing open a door or trying to convince someone of something, you can also help them, which means you roll and you add your bonus to their roll. So all of the rolls are done on 2d6. So I've put a bunch of 2d6s on the table.
Is that in here?
That is in there, yeah.
Basic bonus. Right, I will find it. And then I will.
Should be there. For, yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
And on your character sheet and on your descriptor, you also have some very specific moves. Some moves that are unique to your character and your descriptor. The other one that might need a bit of explaining is the sense what's beyond skill that everybody has access to. That allows you to pierce the veil, essentially. You know, so if something weird is going on, if you feel like there's something that's I think you should definitely take +2 in beyond. I think that would be handy. If something weird is going on, then you're able to.
I'm not completely sure what it means, but I've taken +2 in balance, so I think I'm really good at surfing.
Right, and walking,
skateboarding
and walking on a shifting deck.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent. I assume balance is sort of charisma and something akin to that.
Beauty.
Beauty is charisma,
right.
but
okay.
Balance would be sort of dexterity and your ability to
not mental balance.
Not falling overboard.
So we need to name the ship that you're on, and we might throw it open to the chat.
Ooh,
as long as they don't come back with Boaty McBoatface as they did last time.
You can, but you have to pronounce it in like the most English place name way. So you must provide a pronunciation.
Boatswainy.
Yeah.
But if you guys have an idea for the name of the boat as well.
Well, we were talking earlier about how heavily we wanted to lean into our adult themes, so we're going to be sailing aboard the Festering Arsehole. All aboard!
Lloyd's wouldn't insure that one.
Go below decks. No.
No! Bad idea.
Well, the go below decks.
And we were also talking about, we were recommending, off the back of this game, we've been watching the new AMC series, The Terror.
The Terror.
Which is a wonderful show about, a potentially supernatural sort of horror explanation for the loss of the expedition to find the Northwest Passage.
Right.
And mentioning that, when you name a boat The Terror, when you name your boats Erebus and Terror, you're not going to have a great time on that boat.
Why would you do that? Why would that be a thing?
Hi, Miles.
Hi, Miles.
Any suggestions from the chat about the name of our boat?
No, not yet.
The Terror?
The Terroribus?
The Terroribus.
The Terroribus. The Terroribus is pretty cool.
I think we should be optimistic. I think we should name it the SS Optimism.
Warm weather.
The SS Cautious Optimism.
Yeah. Warm weather and plenty of food.
The SS Sunshine and Lollipops.
I've always liked that gag in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy when the galactic battle cruisers are called the SS Dauntless, the SS Relentless, and the SS Suicidal Insanity.
I think they used to have in the Royal Navy. They used to have an HMS Indefatigable, which must have been fabulous.
Right.
One of my least favorite words. Even when I'm pronouncing it right, I feel like I'm not.
Invincible.
The Invincible?
No, I think that would be a little bit.
Rectitude.
There
you go. That ties in with your
SS moral rectitude.
No, I wasn't put moral, just rectitude, generally.
In order to get on the boat, you have to squeeze through a porthole.
Oh.
Dude.
The HMS Sphincter. Good at getting into tight. No.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. No, nothing from the chat. Nothing from the chat.
Nothing from the chat.
Nothing from the chat.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. What do we pay for?
Unless, hope everyone's having fun thus far was a suggestion for
the name
ship
of the boat.
name. Miles, I might have misinterpreted.
All right.
And unless my chat's, not.
I mean, is it relevant to
live chat?
Well, we're not yet to discover what the purpose of our voyage is, right? So,
Yeah.
Well, we kind of need
what
to.
sort of a boat we are on?
I think
sort of a cruise line or
No.
a navy ship or a.
I mean, given that your mission is a sort of a mission probably for the Crown or for some kind of astrological society that
For my college, I believe.
for your college,
Mhm.
okay.
And
They probably would have chartered the boat if they needed to.
Or perhaps I think I was being the outcast. I think I was forced to leave my college, so they may have stuck me on the cheapest, service they could find.
Yeah, dirigible, and said go to this blasted island in the middle of nowhere and look at the sky.
I'm looking for the best Welsh wool, given that I'm a merchant.
Okay.
And the Welsh are famous for their wool.
Well, that is perfect.
Oh.
That will be the mission. You are going
None
to.
about the star stuff. Welsh wool, buddy.
Do you have a mission?
I'm a surgeon. I was
You're a
hired.
surgeon, so you're just there for when
Yeah.
things go wrong.
I'm blending in.
It's a collection, cadaver collection.
Yeah. I'm probably doing a little bit of that because given the timing and the air of medicine being ripe for
And the
learning about
ready
things like this.
availability of cadavers on a
Yeah.
dangerous sea machine.
I think every surgeon around that time was secretly kind of into that.
Hmm.
International waters.
Does anybody
guys.
need something cut off?
Yeah.
Anybody?
I would be happy to amputate that for you. What are you doing with it when it's done? No, cook, hands off.
Oh, the left leg. Sorry.
I stubbed my toe. Amputate!
Yes.
So you're the surgeon and the not outcast
Creature.
And what's your name, Gillian?
I went
Charlotte.
with Charlotte Cabot, but I'm going to dial back on that and take my last name from the guy in the Terror and be Charlotte Goodsir.
Charlotte Goodsir.
Yeah, because that guy was great.
All right.
He met a great end.
He had a great time.
Dan, your name is
I've gone with Isaac Spencer.
Isaac with 2 C's.
2 A's. I think if it had 2 C's, I'd be Isaac.
That's your Viking name.
Okay, a weird name.
You are the scholar and the outcast.
Yes, please.
Excellent. And Murray, you are the merchant,
And the confidant.
the confidant, and your name is
St. John Bidsey.
Excellent. Good. No help from the chat on the name of the boat, so we might.
No, nothing in the live chat.
Well, we could go the
Directed
the SS Mystery.
The SS Mystery.
Yeah.
Which in the vein of the HMS Terror, it's just we don't know what's going to happen.
So,
We don't know what's going to happen on this boat.
could be good. Could be bad. SS. What does that mean?
That's the US.
That's
So
US.
it's the HMS's Her Majesty's,
HMS, Her Majesty's.
and then SS is the US.
But HMS would be a military vessel, or
State service,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what the
I think.
merchant navy or other vessels are called actually. SS Fool's Errand is suggested.
wow, that's kind of bleak.
Yeah, I'm looking for wool in Wales. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
ice in Greenland. So
Sailing aboard the SS, don't bother. The SS, best not.
yeah.
Can we be the blue-faced Leicester?
Blue-faced Leicester.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a type of sheep.
Oh,
shit.
Come on, man.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. Blue-faced Leicester. That's excellent.
All aboard the Blue-faced Leicester. I think that's a Beatles song from
Yeah.
one of the weird periods, isn't it?
I'm not sure that the Welsh are going to take well to us.
That's
naming
actually a guy I went to
our
college
ship
with.
after Leicester, but that's all right.
Right.
He's the guy I went to college with. Old blue-faced Leicester.
Excellent. All right, I'm
Right.
going to leave you with the chat because I'm
I'm-
going to be
I'm-
doing other stuff here. So
I chat. You're with me.
all right.
Sorry. So bonds. Do we need to fill in our bonds?
We do.
Between the two of us.
Yeah. So you kind of need to agree with the bond. So why don't you read out your first bond and let us know?
Blank does not believe in my discipline, and I think they are a fool.
Who might that be?
Does not believe in my discipline, as in my scholarly.
Yeah. Yeah. Which one of these two people?
I assume. Well, I mean, a surgeon would have been to school for a good long time, so I assume a merchant is not convinced of the need for a scholar.
Nice.
And a stargazer aboard the ship.
Yes.
So, I shall write down your name. St. John. And I mean, I know I'm going to write it as St. John, but I think I would prefer just to write
yeah. I think if someone's name's St. John today, it's probably S-A-N-J-I-N. St. John.
No vowels in it. No vowels at all.
Yeah, exactly. It's the perfect text name.
That's true. That's very true.
S-T-J-N. St. John.
I've secretly been studying. Blank. Interesting. I'm not sure about that one. I might come back to that one. I have convinced Blank I can communicate with birds. You, I believe.
You'd be way into that.
Wait,
yeah, absolutely.
Charlotte.
Blank frightens me, and I don't like the way they look at me. So again, I'm choosing between these two.
Yes, and I don't think if you've only got two other players, I don't think you need to fill them all in. I just think you need to fill ones that are
the good ones.
What you like. So
okay.
if those two are
okay, I don't think either of these two would frighten me, because as the outcast, I think I'm a little caught up in my own dark past.
You're a little bit freaky.
But
yourself.
I'm going to keep thinking about what I've been secretly studying, and that's a good one.
Okay.
I've been secretly studying shame.
Shame.
Right. Well, I believe that Charlotte once pretended to be a big buyer of Leicester blue-faced wool to get me out of a difficult situation. I think Charlotte is the most attractive person on the ship. I think Isaac Spencer would make an ideal business partner, because I think Isaac is a fool set in their ways, and I will open you to new experience.
Nice.
All aboard.
Hence, perhaps, your invitation to come and gaze some stars upon my ship, even though I don't believe in your stargazing folly.
Nonsense. How about Charlotte? How does she bond with the rest of the other players?
Okay, so I've got Blank put in a hand and when it mattered and helped me save a life. Blank seems suitably impressed by my skills and just can't help showing off in front of them. I think that's you, St. Blank has been beside me and seen everything I've seen, and Blank seems to me to be doomed to self-destruction, and it's definitely
Nice.
But I'm going to say that you've probably also helped me save a life, which means you might know something about me that you shouldn't know.
You may have seen.
Probably know something about you as well.
I've seen your weird scales.
Yeah.
Weird.
Eczema.
How?
You can get a cream for that.
I don't know, we can. I think it's sulphur today.
Right, yeah.
We've got
the medicine is just...
Yeah, something...
Cut it out or burn it.
Something where the
bleach it.
The symptom is way better than the cure. No, was it mercury powder? I think mercury powder was like the cure for most things back in this day. Yeah,
what is it referred to in the Terra? Coca wine.
Yeah.
Coca wine. In the Terra, they're administered coca wine, which, like everything else, is just straight up narcotics.
Right.
Which is cocaine powder dissolved in
nice.
in wine or in...
I think it's in spirits, but still,
spirits.
like, does it fix the problem or does it make you just stop caring?
Yeah. And yes, reminds me.
My good man, I'm not sure whether this will cure you, but it will get you really fucked up.
And I like the whole kind of the fact that Coke used to actually have cocaine in it. Coca-Cola.
Absolutely.
One of the ingredients,
This stuff's amazing. I can't stop drinking it, telling people about it.
Yeah, are you sure that's been taken out?
Good. All right. So, the HMAS Mystery is making its way to a place in Wales, just off the coast of Wales, called Bardsey Island. And Bardsey Island is interesting for a number of reasons to you. You are visiting at a time of year where the moon is at its lowest and smallest, so it's going to pollute the skies the least amount. And Yeah, that will happen about on the second night after you arrive.
Dark of the moon?
Dark of the moon. So you've been charged or pushed or strongly indicated that you're going to this fairly remote location to make astronomical observations of the flight of Halley's Comet. And you've been given various equipment.
I've been given an unsubtle hint by my college that I should probably get out.
Yes. After the incident, we think it's best that you go away. And they've given you various astronomical equipment and telescopes and logbooks and all of that stuff to chart the course of it. You have been put aboard the HMAS Mystery, which is currently on loan to the St. John, the merchant, and you have heard stories of Bardsey wool. What type of wool is it? The
Blue-faced Leicester.
Blue-faced Leicester.
Although they may have renamed it
actually
blue-faced Bardsey.
Historically would not actually be from that region, but I'm not that good of a...
Bardsey Bluefaced, I know that guy.
Bardsey Bluefaced.
Hangs out in waterfront taverns.
That's right. The Bardsey wool is of extremely high quality, and it's a bit strange at the moment because the entirety of the British Isles seem to be struggling. There's a large amount of mechanisation going on in the cities, a large amount of textile manufacturing, and it's being automated, and jobs are starting to dry up or disappear. If you want to live off the land, that's a pretty hard bargain as well. And you can of course become a fisherman, and that seems to be a fairly sort of a resource that they can't get any other way, but it's a hard life as well. So all across England, people have been doing it rather tough. Except, strangely, on Bardsey Island, where the wool is highly sought after. What is the type of wool? Black Welsh?
We've got the... Sorry, yes, amazing. Quite a lot come up. There's the black Welsh face, I think it's called. The Kerry Hill, Black Welsh Mountain.
Black Welsh Mountain.
Although they do have kind of blue faces, so maybe it's a crossbreed.
Oh, wow, they are quite blue.
Maybe it's a crossbreed. Maybe Bardsey have crossbred the Leicester blue face with the Black Welsh Mountain.
Yeah.
The blue-black Bardsey.
The black and blue.
The blue-black Bardsey. There we are.
And they also have a very large potato farming operation. And that seems to have been going extremely well. There's no sign of the blight on the island, and they intend to keep it that way. And the farmers are doing quite well as well. Also, the seal population and subsequent fish populations are quite vibrant in and around the island. There's a number of seal colonies, pupping grounds where they give birth, and also as you know from your scholarly pursuits, there's a number of other scientists on the island that are doing things like counting bird colonies and the seal population. So there's a little bit of a hint in your directions to try and find out what's going on at Bardsey. Why are they doing things? Why are they doing so well?
You could ask the birds.
I could ask the birds. I can talk to birds, you know.
Oh, yes.
You believe me when I say that.
You dock at Bardsey at about 3 p.m. On a Thursday, and you're unable to take your ship up to a dock, so you sort of moor it on an area at high tide. And as you pull up and moor your ship, you hear a bell from the mainland, and you see a small, barely more than a shack, stone walls with a bell on it, and there's a small figure ringing the bell, who then leaves the shack and walks down to a kind of a causeway where a boat is waiting for her, and she starts to row her way to the ship. It is a she. notice as she starts to get closer. Is there any preparations that you would like to make before getting on the boat?
Getting on the rowboat that will take us to shore?
Correct.
I think I will gather up all of my astronomical equipment.
Okay.
I think I will also gather the stash of letters and documents that I have in my cabin from my college, because perhaps I don't want anybody else to read them.
Fair enough.
Incriminating, are they?
Perhaps.
Secret, perhaps.
And I will. I think once I have all that ready, I will wrap myself up warm in my coat and be ready on the. Be ready at the rail when the boat comes along.
Have I been in communication with Bitsy before this? Sorry, with Bardsey. Bitsy.
No. This is a cold.
Oh, this is a cold call.
But you do
love
know
a cold call. I am
sort of a door-to-door salesman.
This is the ship-bound call centre. That's what I call myself. Hi, I'm a wool trader. I wonder if you had any wool.
You have heard that.
This conversation might be recorded for quality control purposes.
For training. Yeah.
You do know that Bardsey has. Well, I mean, everybody in the region has just sort of completed their shearing.
Yep.
And there's also a carding process after that, and then the wool is then baled up and moved to mainland and for selling. So there's this is a good time to sort of visit Bardsey.
Oh, props!
We brought props.
Love
It's
props.
Okay. Oh, hang on. If you'll excuse me just a moment,
ground
I'll get my prop.
I've got a prop.
No, my potion from the fridge.
Oh yes.
Oh. I believed you. Like you were talking to birds. No, that's good.
Anything that you would like to do?
I'll bring my doctor's bag as I usually do.
Yep.
Probably bring a book to take some notes.
Yeah.
Say
your bone saw as well, I imagine.
Yeah.
Never far
that's
away.
In the bag. It's one of those bags where it's like Mary Poppins' bag.
Right.
It looks to be a certain size, but then I can just pull impossibly long things out of. Let's see, what else would I want to bring along? I'll probably bring a couple of extra scarves and a little flask of something I try and pass off as spirits. But I need to have on me.
Yeah, and it's just seawater?
Possibly just seawater.
Possibly just seawater? Yeah. Good. All right.
I'm going to take my box of goods, which is basically weights and measures, and a book with all the current trading rates for wool, so that I can swindle. I mean,
book of carpet samples.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you taking any money with you?
I've got a well-packed wallet.
Right.
So,
How have you chosen to?
I get to choose destitute, average, or well off. The better off he gets, the more money he has to make, because he has to forget.
Right.
So.
But which are you at the moment? Are you?
I'm well off.
You're well off. Okay. Right.
I'm going to bring along knitting needles and crochet hooks as well.
Fair enough.
Because they may come in handy. And with all this
you're
going around.
Actually on the spot check.
You're a surgeon who has to keep
portable spinning, portable spinning wheel
busy.
behind you is like.
Kind of want to do some shopping anyway.
Nice. Urn brew is that's Scottish.
Well,
right?
iron brew is it's a potion that you need if you're going to communicate with
birds.
British weirdos. It allows you to speak fluent. Not Welsh.
It would be an entirely different thing in New Zealand, because it would be urn brew.
That's right.
make money, my friend.
Urn brew
in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Nice, but it's Scottish, right?
Iron brew is Scottish.
It's Scottish.
Iron brew is. I'm sure there's people watching in the chat perhaps who are familiar with iron brew. Iron brew is more popular than Coke in Scotland.
Yeah, right.
Anyone in the chat familiar with iron brew? Say hi. We do have.
You can get quite famously. There's a story I really love of Coca-Cola sent a marketing hit squad.
Near song could tell us.
Right. Sent a marketing hit squad to Scotland to try and work out exactly what the popularity of iron brew derived from, and this crack marketing team came home a couple of months later and just went, "I have no idea." Because you go to McDonald's in Scotland and iron brew will be on the drink dispenser before Coke.
Wow.
They say it's made from girders.
I'm going to don, as per the chat, my rubber boots. Thank you, Fufu Tuki.
All right, rubber boots are donned, and you have your various boxes and
great big
knitting needles.
tripod with a weird astrolabe thing on top of it.
Nice.
Oh,
very
sextant.
Sextant.
Nice.
It's complicated physics equipment.
All right. The boat sort of docks up against yours, and sort of boat hooks are lowered to keep it in place, and a rope ladder is ascended. Some of the other crew take the sort of the more heavier or delicate boxes and astrolabes that you have.
Please be careful with that. Please don't break that.
Yes, they're well used to your pedantry.
Seriously neurotic.
Around that.
Foolishness.
Yep.
No, I mean, yes. Scholarly.
And gets lowered down. The woman, the broad-shouldered woman at the base of the ladder, is looking up at somewhat annoyance at all of this stuff that's being brought down, and she says, "Your barnacles are scratching my boat. Get down before we're all sunk."
Right you are. Hello, I'm St. John Bidsey, by the way.
I don't have time for introductions. Get your ass on my boat.
Right.
Well, I'll shinny down the rope as quickly as I can.
All right. She's very directive, and she's like, "You sit there and put that box there, and yeah, don't you bucking the. We're being cut up as it is."
I'll check and make sure my barnacles aren't showing.
Is that when you get more irritated? They swell.
Try to stay in one place for too long.
That's right. Yeah, you lean over the side of the boat and just kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, I've fallen in the water.
So, as quickly as she can, she disengages from the boat and starts to row her way back to the shoreline, sort of glowering at you as she does.
I smile politely back at her.
She sort of
she glares.
Continues to row.
Right.
She mutters something about how inconvenient high tide is at tea time in the afternoon and that sort of thing.
Blasted tides, I know. You'd think they could be predictable or something. Oh, wait.
Is there any other brave souls who would like to strike up a conversation?
It's not going well. I can just tell you.
Obviously, our merchant friend is not the best salesman.
Well, I'm not trying to sell. I'm trying to buy.
It's true. I think I will ask. I mean, is there a suitable point where I might observe the transit of the comet?
Well, you don't know about such things.
Okay, I understand that you have no idea what's going on above your head. All I need is a bit of flat ground where I can set up my equipment. Thank you.
Surely a hill would be better.
Yes, please. Anything
like,
high.
Like that one.
Anything high and open to the air is fine by me.
There is plenty of flat ground you'll find on Bardsey.
Yes.
We have several hillocks, including... Oh, I even named it. What did I call it?
You named it? Oh my gosh!
No.
How long have you been on this island?
Humble Man's Peak. And she points to a sort of a large hill.
Just the place for you, my egotistical friend.
Humble Man's Peak. We shall continue our naming of things that are definitely not metaphors.
Well, 'tis
Humble
named
Man's
after,
Peak will do. Thank you very much.
'tis named after a pastor that threw himself off in some fit of madness.
Sensible man. Sensible pastor.
Oh, that spelling of peak. I see. How very.
He, she's sort of looking at your boxes and says, "You're some kind of learned man, then."
I am. Yes, I'm here on a mission of science. You wouldn't understand, and I wouldn't expect your help anyway.
Don't wish to give it.
Yeah, very well. Very well. I only need some time and a night sky. Thank you very much. I will no longer need your assistance.
What a brilliant companion you're going to be on a sales trip.
I am.
Win over the locals.
I make myself very popular.
Yes, I can tell. Good cop, bad cop.
I'm a bit curious about the genetic diversity of these humans. How many families live on this island?
Bardsey is home to 200 souls, thereabouts. There are several families in the wool trade, several families in the potato farming trade, and several fisher folk.
And have you lived here your whole life?
I've worked the sea, woman and girl.
Extremely progressive on Bardsey Island.
You cross the reef, and could you give me a sense what's beyond roll? So 2d6 plus your beyond skill.
Alright, so I've got 12.
A 12?
Yeah, because I've got a 6
You
and a 4
sense
plus my 2.
everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Whoa!
it is
Just
actually
tripping balls on the way to Bardsey Island.
It is actually a bit like that. You are sort of saying, how many people live on Bardsey, and as she gives you your answer, you cross a section of the reef into the sort of the calmer waters, and you sense a kind of a cloud. It's like a black, and it's not a cloud of natural origin. It's not something that is that these other people can see. It's definitely an influence of some fey creature. You sense a kinship in the cloud and a kind of a foreboding.
Does it feel like my people, or does it feel like some other people?
Feels like land people. Like you are ocean, you are sea people. This feels like, and you two don't mix at all. You kind of don't even have a common language other than what you do, but you can definitely sense their presence. That's about it.
Can I ask her if is there a doctor on this island? Where do people go when they get sick?
Vet.
The vet.
Killian's the vet. He generally tends to people as well.
Ah. Is he around? Is he here this week? I would love to just to meet other people who do what I do.
I'm not his secretary.
He's what?
His secretary.
Oh. So I couldn't.
She continues to write, but yeah, she seems a bit kind of offended by the question.
I just trying to set up my LinkedIn.
So are there
group.
any social activities like a dance or a...
No dancing on Bardsey.
No.
No drinking on Bardsey.
Do you gather round is there a church service?
Oh, there is some services held, yes. But you'd be wanting to make your way to the name of the pub. Can we get the chat to give us a name of
pub name on Bardsey?
Pub name on Bardsey.
I feel like I could use a poem. Scared as shit right now.
And there's definitely. So she gives you the name of the pub that's in town, and she says you could also find billeting there in their common room at night.
And who would be the best person that I should talk to regarding purchasing some of your fine wool?
Or the council handles all of the business matters of the purchasing and selling.
The council? When do they meet?
You will be able to probably meet them at the pub.
Lovely.
So you hear the grinding of the boat as it pushes up against the causeway, and she says, "All right, everybody out, help me pull the boat ashore."
I'll leap over the side and struggle to help pull the boat. I'm not exactly a outdoorsman.
No, but you do have a +2 balance, so I imagine you're fairly.
I'm very dexterous. Well, I have about me a very sort of kind of careful manner. Yeah. Very reserved and very. I keep to myself, but I'm very careful and very neat and very obsessive about my appearance.
Yep. So probably jumping into the water is a bit.
This is true.
a bit an anathema to you.
This is true.
I will ease my pudgy bulk over the side of the ship, and then, quite surprisingly, fling the thing up the shore.
Yes, you have +2 brain.
Hail, fellow, well met.
I would normally offer to help, but I have 0 strength.
But a chance to get wet.
Huh?
But a chance to get wet.
But I will then get into the water and be like...
Yeah. Just kind of flail at the back of the boat.
I'll jump in anyway, I'll give you a hand.
You push, I'll pull.
Yeah.
Well, I think I will jump over the side because I can't abide anyone else touching my equipment.
Okay.
I'm doing this out of necessity. After all, I didn't want to be here in the first place.
True. All right.
So I'll struggle over the side with my tripod and astrolabe and things, and immediately disappear up the beach and not help you pull the boat up.
Okay. All right.
I'm getting no pub names.
No pub names. All right. We'll call it the Settlers' Arms.
What about the fish head?
Well, the Green Dragon.
The Green Dragon?
What about the Capricorn? It's both a sheep and a fish.
Ooh.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh.
I don't know what they know about Capricorns in Wales, but
I love the Capricorn idea.
There's the Tropic of Capricorn.
I think that's a Welsh mythological creature as well.
The Capricorn.
The Capricorn. Or it might be something else that has the head of a bull.
Yeah, I think it's Greek. But may well be something.
it's a goat anyway. But yeah.
All right.
The Capricorn is a nice name for
The
it.
Capricorn is the nice name for. All right. Well, it
sounds like a
go with
Merivale pub in Sydney, to be
It
honest.
All right.
Probably get really good tapas there.
So you help drag the boat up, and you help unload your equipment.
My own equipment.
Your own equipment, and
Leave everything else in there.
Exactly right. Exactly right. There's no time. I'm off to the pub.
and you, Charlotte, resist the urge to go diving into the water and swimming around.
Yeah. No, I dry myself off.
And the causeway leads upwards.
I'm well out ahead of the group with my tripod on my shoulder, huffing my way towards the pub.
All right.
I don't want anything to do with any of these people, and I would like a warm room and a drink, please.
Good. All right. Well, you get to the top of the causeway, and you notice that there is a road. It's a dirt road packed with small rocks, and it travels sort of north to what appears to be a town of some 20 or 30 houses or buildings, and south to apparently the end of the earth. So you follow the road to the north, and after about a 10 or 15 minute walk, you manage to get to a sort of what are those things in the middle of towns that have a
signpost?
A signpost,
the market cross.
Yeah, like a area where there's a thing, and the Capricorn sits on the edge of this.
After a 20-minute walk, I think I'm even crankier and more dishevelled than I was before with this heavy equipment on my shoulders. So I will shove my way in the door with no delay.
All right. There is a fairly bustling room that greets you. There is a fire going, and each and every person stops and looks as you burst in through the door, carrying all of this equipment and luggage. And
something they haven't really seen on Bardsey Island, I imagine.
Not in quite some time. Obviously, the person looks up at you as the landlord, and he says, "Are you from the ship then?"
Yes, please. I understand we're staying here.
Put your stuff over there.
Yes, very well. I'll drop my stuff in the corner and immediately go to the bar.
All right.
For a gin, please.
A gin? Oh, gin. He starts to look around and...
Do you mean to tell me that there is nothing to drink on this island?
Oh, plenty to drink. Just none of this fancy
I think
stuff.
he'll have some poaching.
I'll have
whatever
whatever you can give me, thank you.
So there's a fairly strong stout beer that's been placed in front of you.
Ugh.
And and he says, "You have a nice trip."
nice enough that I'm really not interested in conversation. Thank you very much.
What my friend means to say is, yes, it was a pleasant enough journey. The council, are they here?
He points over to a very stern-looking woman, and
I don't know.
she's
Try to make friends.
Well, I wonder, does this count as, respectable company or good, honest company? Because I need to make a roll to see whether my secret is revealed.
Oh, okay. Yes, please do.
So
when you're in company?
When I try to mix with respectable company or good, honest folk, I am trying my best to avoid conversation. But are we mixing yet, or will that come a little later?
We could say that we're mixing.
Okay,
Certainly.
we could say that we're mixing. In which case, I will certainly try to hide my sin rather than let everyone know. Which means that I need a roll plus balance. So 4, 2 plus 2 for my balance is 8. On a 7 to 9, my sin is not revealed, but choose 2. Must silence someone with hatred or force, disclaim or express disdain for sinners like you, reveal the secret of another to deflect attention. I can't risk being seen in company for some time, or there is one who knows your sin and will use it against you later. I would say that I cannot risk being seen in company, which is why I'm so gruff and determined to get straight to my room. And I will say that our merchant knows that the reason I was forced off on this expedition is because I was booted out of my college after it came to light that I was involved with a student.
That's not so sinful.
Well, with a male student.
Okay.
Well, that changes everything in the 19th century.
Okay, excellent. I would actually put that down as a bond. I would almost make that.
I would. Well, since I'm the keeper of secrets,
when
I learn a secret, it's awesome. Right. So what have I got? I have a secret. I can spend your secrets to either bolster or deride your reputation in public.
Wow.
I can reveal one to someone who wishes to destroy you. Which is why you should make friends. No, and I, to find a person or a thing that is precious to you, force their hand at a crucial moment, or hinder you, or ask you a question as if I had read your thoughts, which is pretty amazing.
Okay.
Cool. So yes, no, that's definitely, well, definitely a secret, I think. But also, yeah, probably a bond as well, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I would definitely call that a secret. That's something that you collect. That's the kind of thing. There are other secrets here as well that.
This was no torrid love of.
There are secrets everywhere.
This was no torrid affair. You see, I do believe this student and I were in love, which is why I am jealously guarding his letters and hoping to get back to him as quickly as possible.
His letters.
Oh, that's kind of sad. All right.
You see, there is reason for my gruff and for my gruff manner.
The landlord, the publican, points you towards a table that has an elderly woman and what appears to be her two siblings, her two son and daughter.
Are they immediately apparent son and daughter?
Yes, they look. The genetic lines there are quite strong. They all have her mother's kind of lack of chin and beady eyes.
Nice, lack of chin and beady eyes. Love it.
The other thing that you notice about Elspeth, right off the mark, is she's quite pale. In fact, the scholar notices that as well. There's a whole. Everybody here seems to be quite wan. Even more so than is usual for English people.
Spanish people. One.
No, I don't think there are many Spanish people who are one. They're generally kind of old and complexion quite well tanned.
Just one.
Yes. Right.
Well, I'm making no effort to ingratiate myself with the people of this island. I think I'm going to. I'm sipping this porter gingerly.
Yeah. He says Esmith is the leader of the council.
What are they drinking?
They're drinking beer.
Beer?
Yeah.
So poaching is the potato vodka that anyone who grows potatoes brews.
Right.
So kind of super duper potent.
Irish moonshine.
Irish moonshine.
But given the presence of a potato community on the island, I wonder if you've got anything stronger.
Ooh.
My dear sir.
Not behind the bar, but over there, next to the fire, you'll find a man.
What an excellent place to store it.
You would find a man, Adrian.
Right.
That man's Adrian Blacksley. I believe he may have something that might tickle your throat.
And can you tell me, would Elspeth and family like? I'm assuming that is her son and daughter over there. The family resemblance is remarkable. Would they partake of such a delicacy?
Oh, I dare say they'd. Adrian's brew is not tasty.
Potency and keeping out the chill is probably what we're here for.
Yes. So I'm sure they would. I'm sure it would go a long way to.
Thank you. I'm going to slip him a shilling.
That goes straight into the pocket.
How it's done, Isaac.
Yes.
I'm going to
I'm sure it is.
Before you head over to that, Charlotte, what would you like to be doing at this point?
I think I'm into this train of finding out what these folks are providing here.
Yeah.
I'm mostly nervous and looking around the bar. I'm trying to lay low a little bit.
Yep.
I'm looking around the bar to see where this sense is coming from, and it feels a bit ambient.
Yeah.
So, kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
And I feel a bit exposed. Like there's a sense that the people in the bar also.
And the fire's raging and it's dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bit dry generally, but I feel like they see something in me that is also.
Perhaps it sounds like you're trying to read another's thoughts.
Oh.
Yeah. These are our actions.
Oh, here we go. Yes. Okay. Yes, I would like to do that.
I like that she said,
right
I
now.
look round the bar the sea and we're on Bardsey. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, what?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Yes. Let's try and read another's thoughts. I've got 10. So
Plus beyond? No.
Yeah, plus brain.
Plus brain.
I've got plus 2 in brain. So
Oh, wow.
I've got 6 and 4.
12.
So that's 10.
Read another's thoughts, 12.
I'm a physicist, not a mathematician.
I think you'll never get published with skills like that.
Yes.
Okay, so on the 10, I can ask 3 of the below questions during
That's what?
interaction.
The Happy Shepherd.
The happy shepherd.
Oh.
Oh, I don't think there's many happy shepherds on Bardsey.
All shepherds are happy.
Ooh, okay, so I can ask 3 of the following questions at any point over the course of my interaction. So I'm going to follow these guys over to talk to this family because I feel like these questions will come in handy. Yeah.
So, what were the questions you wanted to ask? You get to choose.
Yeah, there's a few questions here, but I think I would like to see. I think I can ask them of different people. So let's see. I'm gonna go with what does this character wish I would do of the publican.
Oh, of the publican.
Yeah.
He's being very polite, but you kind of get the sense that he'd like you to complete your business on Bardsey and leave. So it's everything about his demeanour is pleasant, but you get the sense that there's this kind of underlying urgency to, see the back of you.
Okay.
You might ask someone what they intend to do. That's a good one.
Yeah, and I'm waiting to follow you guys to the family.
Right.
I feel like them being a little bit pissed will probably be.
I'm gonna make my way.
Wait until St. John deploys the team.
Deploys, yes. I'm going to make my way over to Adrian.
Okay.
Hello, Adrian. St. John Bidsey. Lovely to meet you. Lovely.
Adrian Blacksey.
Oh.
Very nice to meet you.
Pleasure is mine. I look forward to viewing the beautiful wool of your island. Now, I believe I've been by our lovely publican here. You might have some special
beverage that I might be able to purchase a bottle of if I could?
Aye, it is a blend of my own.
Oh.
I'm retired farmer and just have my own small plot. I've sold my major potato farm a decade ago, and very have turned my hand to the still, and
and you don't run. I mean, I haven't seen anyone of authority, but you don't run into any trouble with authorities.
There is a small police force here on Bardsey, and they've been quite happy to look the other way if they get a little sample every now and then.
Oh, so they're malleable. Oh, well, I like that. I do like that in the police force. I carry on in my line of business, which is, of course, merchanting. Well, how much for one of your lovely bottles of your own?
There's a thing in the book about how much things cost.
Nice.
So
would that count as when I choose to learn a secret of someone?
Oh.
Yeah, I keep so I can use that as, but I've got moves that I can make if I know that secret, or sincere gratitude, or you can call on them when I need them. Oh, nice. Let's do that. Yes.
All right.
Runs a still.
So, a whole salt cod would cost 8 pennies, and I think probably a small vial of this hooch is probably about the same.
Okay.
So we'll say 8 pennies.
Can I pay for it in salt cod?
You said you're well off, didn't you?
Yeah.
You take out your big jangling bag of coins.
This is all to show my generosity before I turn the screws on the price of wall tomorrow.
Pay him a bit extra. Pay a
full shilling. All right.
Full
shilling. Right.
So he hands you the vial and says, "Doesn't taste too good yet, but I'm working on it."
Excellent. But by the second sip?
It really doesn't matter.
Fabulous.
If you call hysterical blindness a flavour, yes.
That's all right.
I think we can call hysterical blindness a flavour. I think you might have just coined one. What flavour is it, hysterical blindness?
I'd like to ask him about the potential medicinal properties of this. Has it ever been put to that
The painkiller.
Yeah. Has it ever been put to this test?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Anesthetic.
Yeah. Can it be used as an anesthetic or to clean wounds?
Yeah.
Or,
I think it could be used to grease an engine or strip paint off walls as well. So yes, multiple uses.
I would like to know if it's ever been used for these purposes. You know, is it tested? I
haven't used it as an anesthetic or when one person unfortunately fell down and cut his arm while reef fishing, we proceeded to get him well sauced, and we were able to
burned his arm off.
we were able to seal his wound on his arm without much.
We gave him a shot, and his arm fell off. I thought, "Oh, this is good stuff." I think I will snatch the little jar. I assume it comes in a jar rather than I'll snatch the jar out of St. John's hand because I'm this porter. This homebrewed porter is ghastly. I'll snatch the jar out of St. John's hand and take a sip.
I will give you a disdainful look, and basically, well, you need to learn how to ask. And as you sip, I will take it back. It's for the council.
Oh, I see.
It definitely doesn't taste like gin. It tastes more like gin than the porter that you've been drinking.
Yep. It does the trick.
Yes,
it tastes like blindness.
I'd like to know more about this reef fishing. This poor chap. What happened to him? Where is he now? How did he get into this predicament?
We were talking to Adrian, weren't we? Who's Irish?
He's somewhere in there.
Well, he was reef fishing at night, as I recall. It's not a pastime I would recommend. Very strange to be doing that sort of activity at night. And when we pulled him out of the water, he had several large gashes on his shins, and another one on his arm. So it was a strange occurrence, but we managed to get him fixed up, and he's now back.
Fully recovered?
Oh yes.
Can you just ask if we can talk to the man, will you? Somebody? I don't want to talk to these people.
Well, we've got some other talking to do first.
Oh, very
Isaac.
well, very well.
I would have thought as a stargazer, patience would have been one of your virtues.
Perhaps it
Have
was
another
once.
sip. Here you are. Have
Perhaps
another
it was once.
Have another sip, sir.
Thank you.
I'd like to press this a little bit further because I'm really curious about what happened to this reef fishing guy and how he sustained these injuries. This sounds a bit suspicious to me. I
You have a question?
gently speak around you guys, and I ask, how is this guy now? Where is he? Is he still on the island? Is he still here?
Yeah. Is there? Are we maybe trying to manipulate another? Into telling you what?
Roll plus beauty. I'm fucked. Okay, let's see how we get. I've got a 10.
There you go.
A 10?
Yeah, it works.
Hang on, that was only 8.
Huh? Oh no, sorry, 8. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't have beauty.
Well, see, I have these lovely white pips that I can't miscount.
So, what are the results for a 7 to 9?
They change the terms to suit themselves or demand concrete assurance first. So I would like to talk to this guy, or failing that, I would appreciate Adrian's version of the story.
He says, "Well, I might be willing to tell you the story if you'd care to buy a bottle of my wares.
Last coin.
Late night fishing for barrels of claret."
Showing you that so you wouldn't read it out loud.
No, I have something very
Plot
very
specific.
plot specific.
Oh,
Yes.
plot specific. Apologies.
Sorry, Stoney.
Does the bottle that they bought count? I'm with them.
No, he's fishing for another sale.
Yeah, I'll buy it. Why not?
All right, 8 pennies.
All right.
So his voice kind of lowers to a sort of a conspiratorial level, and he says, "Well, the strangest thing was we pulled him out, and the wounds on his legs there were 3 of them." And he kind of makes a notion like this, straight, like a cut from a knife, not ragged like the wound on his arm as a cut from the rocks. And he was almost incoherent, burbling, talking about taking him away.
Sorry, he was burbling incoherently and you gave him your brew.
Well, it just seemed like the best thing I could do to help the man, suffering a little bit in terms of
it wasn't going to hurt.
suffering a little bit in terms of
and
his mental capacity.
Quieten him down, shall we say.
To be sure.
Oh, excellent.
Is that gent still on the island? Does he still live here?
Aye, he's on the north side of the island. He lives in a small shack by the sea.
Waterfront property. It's worth investing in.
I like it already.
Yeah, my comrades are not aware of anything sketchy going on this island, so I quietly make plans to myself to check this out tomorrow, if nothing else has, interfered with us until then.
He says, yes, maybe 2 hours drive, 2 hours walk north, and when you get to the fork in the road where you can go to the ruins of the monastery, you take a right to the ocean.
Cool. Alright, I'll write that down.
Ruined monastery.
Good sign.
What kind of monastery was this?
Cistercian was the name.
Not a very pleasant place, if all be told. It was destroyed in
1536.
Is that right? 1536 by Edward VIII? Henry VIII.
Edward VIII abdicated in 1936, but
He was also a time.
1537.
Oh, sorry, I got my dissolution of the monasteries wrong. Oh man, Halley's Comet wrong by a year, dissolution of the monasteries wrong by a year. I hate myself.
It may have just been that it took them a while to get
there
around.
There were a lot that Henry absorbed.
A 6th century monastery by St. Cadfan, built by St. Cadfan and destroyed by Henry VIII.
Benedictine then.
And he says, yes, it's still not a very pleasant place to be. It feels like the monks still walk the grounds looking for their vespers and whatnot.
Sounds spooky.
Ghost monks, this is.
You'll
surely they're not still around.
You'll find it's not a place that the residents of Bardsey are too familiar with.
So it's quite secluded then, and no one really goes there.
There's a few farms up that way, but not too many people go there.
Ooh.
Yes, I expect we're going on an excursion, are we?
Sounds, well, you know, some of us might like to.
So long as there's a rock upon which I can place my tripod, it's fine by me.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Now.
You're a scholarly man then.
Yes, and you are not, so I prefer not to continue this conversation if necessary.
Oh, Isaac, you are such a slow learner. How long were you at university exactly? Now,
can I read
Adrian,
another thoughts? How can I get this one to shut up?
I believe another sip of this brew. I do. I've got 2 vials of that.
I have no problem at all with that. I think I will neck a couple more sips.
He should be quiet by morning.
Yeah.
Adrian, what are Elspeth's son and daughter's name?
They are.
I don't think I'm going to get much more out of Adrian. I don't think he knows anything of use other than.
Oh no, I think it requires a field trip.
Yeah, I think we need to.
Men of learning love field trips.
Timothy and Shona. Timothy and Shona are the two the son and daughter of the offspring of Elspeth.
I'm going to take my vial and put my hand on the vial that Charlotte's got and try and indicate to her without words that we're going to go and talk to Elspeth, Timothy and Shona and strike up a bargain.
All right, let's go.
As you walk over there, you notice that they definitely appear to be surveying the room like a king would survey his chamber. Power sort of emanates from Elspeth, and you kind of get the feeling that definitely there are Timothy and Shona are not so much children as they are henchmen.
Right.
They both have 2 very sturdy walking sticks leaning up against the table that could also charitably be called cudgels, and everybody else seems to be giving them a fairly wide berth.
Is there any sign of difference returned? Or just
yes,
fear?
Just
fear.
fear.
Just fear.
No, just fear
right.
of yeah.
Okay.
So there's a definite palpable feeling of these two as
Right.
they.
Okay, I'm going to pull up slightly short to sort of show, almost like, paying homage before we get there. Elspeth, Timothy, Shona. I am St. John Bithsey, merchant from the mainland, here to buy your amazing Bardsey blue-black wool.
Hey,
I thought we
pull
might.
up a seat.
I've brought sustenance. These are my companions. The surgeon, Charlotte, good sir, and the scholar, renowned scholar, I might say myself, Isaac Spencer.
I think now that your name has been dropped, we might need to roll that.
Ooh.
That
was it that wide?
Yeah.
Like a scandal. Oh my gosh.
This is public eye again.
Yeah.
Ooh.
3, 5 plus my 2 balance is 7.
Oh, that's just a success.
Not revealed, but I must silence someone with hatred or force.
Right.
Disclaim or express disdain for sinners like you. So perhaps Elsbeth has heard of someone of my persuasion, and I will exclaim loudly from the bar that no, nothing to do with that kind of perversion.
She hears your name and she says, "I that name is familiar to
Weren't
me."
you a funny man?
You mean, with Silent Force, you could just slap St. John.
Yes.
That's true. That's true. In fact, I could stomp on St. John's foot.
You could stomp on my foot.
Yeah. I think I will do that. Because we're developing a kind of a love-hate relationship.
We certainly are. You're a fool set in your ways, and I'm trying to open you to new experiences, but you are resisting it every time.
He's open to plenty of new experiences by himself.
He's not that kind.
Not with I. Yes.
So yes, right. You get your foot stomped on, and you sort of wince, and
I make when my foot is stomped upon as I'm offering my my drink. I turn it into essentially a deferential bow to hide my.
The publican sort of swings by and pops 3 small shot glasses on the table, and then whisks away.
Lovely. I pour each full.
Okay.
Your health. Take a teeny sip.
Again, Elspeth takes a teeny sip. Timothy kind of has a big swig and kind of looks very pleased with himself.
All right.
You think these two are probably maybe...
Does Tim look like a drunkard?
He looks like he enjoys his drink, but he's... I mean, the most notable thing about him is his build. He's quite cut.
He'll cut as in chiseled, as in alcohol.
Muscular and...
Alcohol will have quick...
I may have glanced at him out of the corner of my eye.
Not necessarily, but he's a little bit of...
I may have glanced at him out of the corner of my eye.
Something you might
quite a man.
Appealing to, yeah?
Oh, do I notice that? That'd be great. Can I see if I haven't got the balance, the stat right, but I'm going to try and read another's thoughts. I'm going to try and read Isaac's thoughts. Actually, no. So he makes Isaac Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try and read Isaac's thoughts regarding that. But I got no...
That's right.
Brain. No, I got no brains. Here we go. 7.
It's a partial success.
So you get one question.
What does he need? What does he intend to do?
Oh dear, I've only just noticed this wonderful rule where on all of these skills on a miss, they're all just the GM
makes things worse.
Yeah.
Mind you, you're doing fantastic. I don't know that we need the GM to make things worse. Just need to let you open your mouth.
Yeah, set the cranky scholar loose.
Yeah. Well, it's either what does Isaac need the most, or what does Isaac intend to do? Oh.
What does Isaac need the most?
What I intend to do?
This is what I love about this.
Maybe we test
these questions that you can ask.
Maybe we test Isaac's fidelity to his beloved.
Wow.
Okay. How do we do that?
Well, we'll see how that unfolds.
Okay.
How attractive is this young thug?
Well,
I don't think I'm genuinely interested in him. I think I'm just looking him up and down because he is quite a strapping lad.
He's eye candy.
Just because you're on a diet doesn't mean you can't look at the menu.
That's right. That's right.
But you know, you're on tour, and as we know, what happens on tour stays on.
What happens on scientific expeditions stays on scientific.
Exactly. Unless the results are so good, then you publish them. Right. Okay. Right, so when I noticed that there's at least one way attraction. You've got a healthy appetite there, Tim. If you don't mind me saying.
Tim says, always appreciated a swig of of what's his name? Adrian's brew.
Fabulous. Well, that's something you and Isaac here have in common.
Yes.
He always appreciates a swig of Adrian's brew, so I pat you on the shoulder and push you forward towards him and say, something you share in common with Isaac here.
Oh.
And then I fill up Isaac's glass.
He kicks Timothy sort of kicks the chair out and
indicates that I'm to be a part of this conversation.
Yeah.
Very well.
I fill up his glass again.
All right.
Which I immediately neck.
That's a very good idea. What are your brains again?
+2, but rapidly declining.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, you take the swig and you feel it, the burning sensation move down your throat and into your belly. And Tim says, "Where are you coming from then?"
I am a. I was lately employed at my college in London, but I was assigned this scientific endeavour, which, of course, given that my only interest is in science and the passage of the stars, I have undertaken quite willingly. I think I'm acting under pressure. I'm going to see if I can make an act under pressure to resist Timothy's wiles.
Charms.
Excellent.
Let's see. Roll plus balance, you see, because I do have a very careful manner about myself.
Okay.
What you
Possibly gained from a life of having to hide who I really am.
Yeah.
6 and 1 is 7, 9.
9.
I falter, buckle, or break. The GM can offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice.
Ooh.
So I am doing my best to put away my drink and avoid Timothy's eye.
All right.
But I am perhaps just still glancing at him.
Is it obvious to
Timothy? It is. Your attraction is quite obvious to him, and he seems to respond by sort of moving his chair a little bit closer to you and patting you on the shoulder and on the knee, and
Timmy's leaning into this.
So there's
Timmy's opened a new experience.
Do I notice this?
Sure.
I think you misinterpreted when I said new experience. I mean, see the world.
I feel like this would be to your advantage. It's like if you can get on the.
I believe I might have found out another secret.
Yes. Timothy also says, I wonder if you've heard of the other scientific endeavour going on Bardsey.
Other scientific endeavours on Bardsey? Do you mean to tell me that it wasn't even necessary for me to be sent here?
Well, I think it's a rather different endeavour than yours. We are building a lighthouse on the south coast.
A lighthouse? Very well. I suspect that would be a nice promontory for me to set up my equipment.
I imagine it would be. I believe they're due to light it any day now, but it's not functional yet.
Would that be a high platform in the sky?
Perhaps.
Very well. Very well.
Is it taller than Humble Man's Peak?
I can take you there and show it to you if you like. At this point, can you read another's thoughts or read a situation, please? Read a situation.
Me read a situation, or can one of the others help me to read the situation?
You can also. I don't know if that
or shall everyone have a go at reading the situation?
Yeah.
I'm probably most likely, but
you're the one observing, probably.
Yeah, what I want to know from these people is very different from what you guys want.
Right.
Your interests.
Well, shall we all read the situation?
Let's all.
Your interests are mostly in buying wool and possibly pimping our friend here.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's all about the secrets for me.
Yeah.
I'm interested in it all. Oh, that's
7 plus 2 is 9 for me.
Right, okay.
So I get 2 questions.
Plus brain. Oh, okay. No, just got 7.
I still got 2 more from my previous ones, and I have very different questions to ask these people.
I think my first question is going to be, what here is not what it seems.
Wow. Okay, let me explain. Let me explain the sequence of events. So, he says he makes the offer to take you and show you the lighthouse, and he offers to take you there tomorrow night.
Which I'm quite keen on because I would like to get away from this man and get to bed.
Right.
My own bed.
Really?
Alone.
Really?
I'm doing my best to resist temptation.
At which point, after he makes this offer, there's a kick under the table from his mother. And he looks at her and then looks back at you and says, but perhaps the night after would be also, if you are still there, still around.
Which would be just after the dark of the moon.
Correct.
I see.
Would you like to ask your question now?
As in, not what it seems?
Yes.
Well, I think... Timothy, you need to do me a solid here, my good man. I wonder Why are you really taking us to this lighthouse? What's in it for you to show us this lighthouse?
I'm merely interested in helping you further your scientific knowledge and helping you.
Timothy, what I would like to do is get this over with as quickly as possible and get home. I have affairs to tend to at home.
Well, certainly that would be my desire too.
Very well. Very well. Tomorrow night then, the lighthouse, yes? Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we cannot afford to wait. St. John has wool to purchase. Her eczema is getting worse.
I can help you be set up and stay with you until 10 o'clock. After that, you're on your own.
10 o'clock, very well, that will do.
Alright.
I'd like to
yes,
read the thoughts of the mother.
Okay.
And
You roll.
no, I rolled earlier. I've still got 2 questions from before.
Yeah.
I would like to know what she wishes I would do. Or no, what does she need most? And I would like to know how I can get these two to take me along to the lighthouse and have it not be weird.
No third wheels, please.
Yeah.
She definitely. I mean, she, on the face of it, it seems like what she wants is exactly what Timothy wants, to have you do your business on the island and then leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that would be that's what she's desiring.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty straightforward. Can I look deeper than that? Can I look beyond superficial motives?
The superficial motives is.
Or is that all? That's fine. If it is.
You sense that there's a secret, that she has a secret that she's holding behind all of this, that she's frightened.
Stoney suggests the passage of which star?
I am going to nip out to the bathroom, if I may, which I think means that Isaac is probably off to have a chunder.
All right.
No, he's nipping out to the bathroom.
Yes, if you'll excuse me, Timothy, I think we're done.
I'll keep Timothy in place so that he doesn't follow you to the outhouse.
All right. Would you like to ask?
I would like to work out who is my greatest threat. So when Elspeth brings up the so there was the kick under the table, which none of us saw. Then there was the tomorrow night till 10 o'clock, get us on our way quickly.
Yep.
I turned to Elspeth with a dazzling smile,
Yeah.
and ask her, how long do you think it would take us to negotiate a good deal for both parties on some blue-black Bardsey wool?
She sort of, you see her go from sort of mothering protection mode into business mode,
Mm-hmm.
and she looks at you.
Didn't ply her with enough alcohol. Right, I'm filling up her glass.
She slides that towards her, and she says, "We would definitely be interested in or be open to offers of the Bardsey bales that we have in our possession, in our warehouse."
How many bales are we talking?
There is 8.
8 bales. And what's a good price?
Excellent
Per
question.
bale.
So there are rules in the book about purchasing something that's large, like a boat or a So we might just should we just have a 10-minute break?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we can have a 10-minute break.
10-minute break.
While we work out the price of wool in
That's
1823 in Wales.
And we will be right back. Thank you very much.
See you soon.
And we're back.
Hello, everybody.
I hope I've got that right. If you could jump on the chat and tell us that you can hear us and see us, that would be great. But we are currently in the bar, and we're plying the local business owners and shepherds to try and find out if you can purchase some wool from them.
So Stoney suggested £1 per bale.
Oh yeah,
8 bales.
all right. £1 per bale seems like a fairly good place to start. But there is actually some rules. So when a character wants to make a large purchase, such as a new ship or a new addition to their crew, they may choose to resolve this by having their character make the big purchase move below.
Ooh.
When you make a big purchase that costs far more than you have on hand, roll. Add a +1 if the buyer thinks you are trustworthy, wealthy, or influential. And
I think you've made a good enough show of that.
on a success, you'll get it eventually. On a 10 or plus, choose 2 from the below. On a 7 or 9, choose 3 from the below. You'll need to get cold, hard evidence that you have all the cash. You'll be dirt poor afterwards. You're going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time to organise, or it has a problem, flaw, or defect not apparent until after purchase.
Ooh, okay.
So,
it's a glass bottom boat without any glass.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
so that's what.
You want to do the big purchase on the wall?
I don't think we should do that yet. We'll do
Oh,
that,
okay.
We'll do that tomorrow.
Right.
All right.
I think Isaac, having stumbled off to the outhouse,
Something in the chat
having
says
taken a little too much of
can't hear and see you.
Can't hear and see us?
No. There's sound definitely coming through. You didn't alter anything?
I didn't know.
Is that better? Have we done anything?
I'm overbalanced.
You good?
Okay.
Thank you, Monsieur Jarvis.
Thank you, Clint.
I was just saying, I think Isaac, having stumbled to the outhouse after having taken a little too much of the moonshine, will probably extricate himself from the awkward situation with attractive Timothy. And I will ask the landlord for my room and stumble off to bed.
You sure you know the outhouse toilet seat doesn't just become like the most attractive? Like, this is really. That's where I was going. This is really comfy.
I'm going to ride the. It's not the porcelain bus. I think I'm going to ride the rotten wooden bus.
Rotten wooden bus. Yeah, exactly. So you do get to your rooms, and it is sort of a big dormitory at the back of the pub, and they're. I mean, it's relatively clean, but it's not particularly comfortable. It's
not clean enough for me.
Not clean enough for you. Scratchy, hard beds, but a surprisingly nice wool throw on all of them.
Which you would expect nothing less.
So, is there anything else that you would like to do at night?
Is my business chat with Elspeth over?
Very notably our role.
Yeah, you can continue to chat with.
Yeah, I was going to have a chat, but
I'm stumbling off to bed on.
You're stumbling off to bed on your own. Okay, you've split the party. Fine. No danger in that in any system. And you're just sitting there quietly reading thoughts, which is what I wanted from Isaac. So maybe I need to change my business interest partnership.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to be anywhere near this Timothy gentleman anymore. I've had a little too much to drink.
I could tell.
Yeah.
Weirdly, that you're lying to me.
So I can lean into you at this point, and I don't want to give myself away, but I do sense that something is not right here. So. Yeah. How did you find these people? Like, how did you find this island?
Blue black. I make this loud enough for Elspeth here. Oh, blue black, Bardsey wool is well known everywhere. I think I can do it some great good by spreading its fame further on the mainland, and hence I have the use of a ship. So I'm sure that we can come to some sort of arrangement. Turn back.
She's definitely listening.
Excellent. But don't you worry about the other people. was thinking that perhaps, because I believe I have come across some samples of your wool, hence I am here, and I have a ship, which I have purchased, that I would love to purchase all of your bales of blue Bardsey and spread its name to the mainland and make.
Well, we can certainly discuss. We can certainly discuss that in the morning. She leans over and pats you on the hand, and you notice that her gown sort of comes to her wrist, but you notice that there's a wrapping, like a tight skin tight wrapping that goes underneath her gown, her thing, and you notice that it's also underneath her other arm.
So when she taps me on the hand, let's laugh it. Of course. Now is not the time. Do I notice anything
about her?
Yeah, like is it clammy, cold, warm?
No,
just
more the fact that her skin is very pale.
Very pale,
like it's translucent kind of.
Okay.
You know.
Right. I haven't got anything for beyond. Do I sense anything?
I do, and I notice this as well. I notice.
Right. So when I'm touching, is there any kind of ambient?
Well, you sort of look at the two.
What's beyond.
Yes, it's not going
to.
You're in bed. Shut up. Yeah. You did that to yourself.
I'm passed out.
You did that to yourself.
You know what you should do right now? You should.
Yes, you lurch back into the boat. Timothy, I'm lonely.
My friend, the John left me.
That's what you did. You've gone to bed, and just before you pass out, you've gone. Oh, read his letter.
I actually think it's quite heartwarming. I'm curled up in my scratchy bed under my lovely wool throw, reading my letters.
I can just eat them.
You're smothering them in kisses.
Before you roll the sense of beyond,
and tears.
You do cast your eye over Timothy and Shona, and they both have the same wrappings around their wrists. So please, sense beyond.
Oh, I got 11.
11.
Yeah.
So there's.
We see visions and truths.
Visions and truths.
Visions and truths.
Gosh.
On a success, the GM will tell you something new and interesting about the current situation.
All right.
Ooh.
Oh.
You definitely feel drawn to the northern part of the island. It's, and you have a brief flash, and it kind of rocks you back, and you get a fleeting vision of moonless night. And walking through the trees, and breathing very shallow, hard, sharp breaths in abject fear, and then you kind of come back to the warmth and the pub and Shona and Tim and their mother.
Do I notice her blanch or anything?
Yeah, I think you would notice a kind of a disorientation.
I feel like I can't ask them directly. It was on the north side of the island, but I would very much like to get there.
Well, that's the monastery.
Huh?
That's the monastery, isn't it? On the north side.
Was the monastery on the north side?
Yeah.
Okay.
And lighthouse on the south.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So blind date's on the south side, but we were already planning on going to the north side.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
Are you all right, Charlotte? Have you drunk too much of this strong brew?
I don't think that's what's bothering me, but thank you.
Oh. All right. Well, I see what you're saying, Elspeth. I think not the time for business. To be done in the waking hours. Now it seems Isaac has disappeared. I think he might have taken. I can hear him now. I think he's taken himself to bed. Yes, being on shipboard with such a loud snorer as him, I recognize that anyway.
Oh, let's do things to him in his sleep.
Throw things on him.
Timothy,
you need a bowl of warm water and a bowl of cold water.
Yeah.
They always wake up.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you wanted to.
Right, I can. Until one got more shower.
So I'd like to motion to you that we should chat. Yeah, before we all go to bed.
So, if you will excuse us, I think it's time for us to retire and get a good night's sleep because hard bargaining in the morning. Shona.
Evening.
Tim. Would you like to keep one of the bottles and Charlotte and I will take the other with us?
That sounds very amenable.
Lovely.
You give them mine.
There you go.
So before we all hit the hay, I pull you aside and say, hey, I know you've got very important business here, but I think there's something going on. I don't think these people are exactly what they appear to be. Even given what they appear to be is already pretty weird.
I conspiratorially get close, look straight in the eye, and say, some things are more important than business.
Ooh. What things would those be?
Secrets of the heart and truths.
I'd like to roll for read another's thoughts here. I get fuck all, so GM makes things worse.
5, 7.
Yeah. Oh, I got 7.
A 7 is a.
You get one question.
Oh, I got one question. Okay. I'd like to know what you intend to do.
I'm intending to camp out in the monastery.
So do I know you don't know that I know this?
No.
Okay. I think that's a very bad idea, and I should probably not let you do it alone, so I'm going to, when this happens, sneak along and follow you.
Thank you, Charlotte. And hopefully we can get the romantic inclinations of Isaac away from the lighthouse.
I've got a lighthouse fetish.
Really? Popping corks of champagne, oil rigs, and
climbing up the stairs like, I like big bulbs and I cannot lie.
You're like the credits to Dynasty, you are.
Good-o. All right. Well, should we call it a night there? That's all right.
We'll spend the night at the Happy Shepherd.
We wake the next morning to
with a dreadful hangover in some cases.
A dreadful hangover. And one fortunate thing is that it's not very...
the page of a letter stuck to my face with drool.
Oh, poor.
And the reverse writing imprint.
Yeah.
I love you. In ink.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Isaac. So, one sort of blessed thing is that there's a sort of a fog that seems to have settled over the island, and at least, in the morning, it's quite gloomy.
Oh dear.
Would this by any chance make my observations difficult?
Possibly. I mean, usually these things burn off by about, when the sun rises, when it becomes a bit more apparent. But
I suspect I will need to wait until this evening to make the observations anyway.
True.
Very well.
All right.
I'll see if they have anything to eat in this.
Clint loves the idea of
house.
Knitting in the downtime, and will be telling his wife Jodie that that's a great idea. She too is a knitter.
There is
the entire
definitely
time peering suspiciously,
Yes.
looking at her arms.
The publican brings in small bowls of porridge and bread and cheese for you to snack on, and pots of tea.
What's happening on Bardsey today, other than obviously a fabulous bargaining for wool?
Oh.
Which I'm sure everyone's talking about.
It has
Not
been
much
the
of a
topic
social
of
calendar on
discussion.
Bardsey.
Oh, lovely! I think we went to bed at just the right time, Charlotte.
He says not too much happening on Bardsey right now. It's very it's a downtime. The lambs have been the sheep have been shorn, and I believe there's a potato crop coming in a couple of weeks. So yeah.
No. Now, our lovely host, when she brought us in the rowboat, who decided not to tell us her name,
Yes.
she was saying that there were no social, dances or prayer meetings or anything. So one assumes that touristing is the best social activity that we could perhaps embark upon.
Locals generally don't have much time to do much socialising on Bardsey, so if you'd been wanting to to show yourself around the island? I'm sure that would be
Oh,
possible.
that would be lovely. We can't get lost, can we?
No, it's very flat, very open. I wouldn't be tramping about at night.
Right.
There are some steep cliffs and some uneven ground.
Well, obviously, Isaac here wants to observe Halley's Comet in the skies this evening.
Aye.
And other than that, we've got a deal to make. well, one of us does. And then I suppose we can have an afternoon of touristing.
Mm.
How does that sound?
Very well, if you say so. I think we have to pass the time on this wretched island somehow, don't we?
Ah, what a well-chosen word, wretched. Thank you for that, Isaac.
He picks up the remains of the...
I take a mighty spoonful of porridge before he gets... Delicious stuff. Thank you, sir.
All right. Where to next?
Well, I suppose it's time to go and strike the bargain.
Well, may we... you need to go and speak to Elsbeth, is that correct?
Yes. And
where does Elsbeth live?
I'm not sure. I'm sure it's the council. I don't know that we would do it at their abode.
Oh, I see. So you're off to see the business council, are you?
I think so.
Okay.
What are you up to?
I think having nothing better to do than sit about here in this terrible scratchy bed and pine over these letters, I think I'll just...
I think it's birch, actually.
I think I'll just follow you.
Oh, delightful!
Because I have been such a good help in all of our dealings so far.
Yes, the mysteries of your assistance may yet be revealed to me. But it's one I'm willing to find out. What about you, Charlotte?
I'll tag along with you guys.
Lovely.
All right.
We're going to make our way to the presumably foggy.
It's foggy.
Mm.
Yeah, but finding your way to sort of a large warehousey type building is where obviously they store the wool, and there's an office off to the side of it where business is conducted.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I knock confidently on the door.
All right. Timothy opens the door.
Timothy, delighted to see you.
Nice to see you too, Mr. By the Sea.
Oh, Charlie.
Mother is in here.
Lovely.
He kind of makes this awkward gesture.
I'll shuffle past very carefully without making eye contact with Timothy. feeling a little ginger about what might almost have occurred last night.
Yep. You definitely have a sense that he's kind of leaning into you and
do I get the sense that he's terrified of his mother?
Oh yeah.
Certainly I can appreciate
and
that.
It's a sincere affection or lust or whatever you want to call it, attraction.
I'm not sure if he knows what it is.
Right.
He's looking for someone to help him, which is what's so appealing to me.
Right.
You have very difficult
mentorish.
It's very difficult. Well, it was a student. So I have that kind of thing in me. So it's very difficult to resist the temptations of Timothy.
All right.
Which is why
I like
the temptations
of Timothy.
Win an Oscar for that.
Yes.
But for that reason, I will do my very best not to make eye contact with him. Or I will keep myself back in the group as St. John continues negotiation.
All right. Elspeth is there at a table with two other people who are also shepherds.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do? Shepherd. And you?
Shepherd. Shepherd. And they're all sort of dressed very, very conservatively. So they're sort of jackets and coats and all that sort of business.
Right.
And They offer you to sit down and
I shake
tea.
each of their hand
All right.
and introduce myself and introduce my companions.
Mm-hmm.
Their names, the other two?
Elspeth and Constance and Jacob.
Jacob. Lovely. Right. Now, did Elspeth apprise you of my offer?
Oh, she did. It seems you'd be keen to move some of our wool off the island.
Well, certainly purchase your bales of your lovely blue-black Bardsey wool. But I believe that, not that you're missing an opportunity here, but that I think there could be greater demand for this delightful substance on the mainland and further afield if we could come to an agreement.
How do you mean? We are at a limit, I think, where we can have as many lambs as we can on the island. To upscale our production would be
well,
difficult.
it might not come to that. It might just simply be that we maximize demand for a limited product, and therefore prices will increase.
I see.
So if I have a ship with me, obviously, and I have access to ships, and therefore if we spread the fame of blue-black Bardsey around, there will be people who want that wool, and if production cannot meet demand, then surely an increase in price and profit, I dare say, must follow.
I am a simple farmer, sir. I do not understand these mechanics of business that you speak of.
Get off with your economics lesson.
Are you talking about anything illegal?
Oh, gosh, heaven forbid. No, I am simply talking about the law of merchanting. You have a product. People want that product. I think more people on the mainland want your product than currently know about its existence. When they know about it, they will want it. And when we say, sorry, there is no more, they will be willing to pay a premium price to get it.
I think while St. John is baffling this this gentleman with economics lessons, may I wander carefully about the warehouse, just eyeing up what sort of, I assume there are goods stored here and stacked up. And
Yeah.
so if I were to have a wander around and perhaps
Maybe read a situation.
read the
or-
situation, or
Yeah.
I could attempt to sense what's beyond, but I don't have very much beyond, but I could give it a go.
I don't know if that's.
I think it's more of a read a situation, yeah?
Yep. Give that a go.
7, 9.
Mm-hmm.
Ask 2. May I ask who or what is my biggest threat? So I think I will see if there's anything untoward going on in the goods that are stored here, or if I notice anything threatening or dangerous.
Right. Certainly, in terms of the goods, there's nothing threatening here. It all seems to be fairly above board.
Mm-hmm.
You look about the bales, and
There's just bales of wool stacked up
yeah,
in this warehouse.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and they are, each one of them has written in chalk the farm that it comes from. So you see several bales with green written on them.
Green.
Yeah,
The green farm.
the green farm. Elspeth Green
Green.
is,
Elspeth Green's
is
farm.
the yeah.
Most of the wool is hers.
A big portion of it, yes.
Very well.
The other thing that you notice is that there is a we'll come back to that. Yes.
So I'm moving to the point where I can use my special move, which
Okay.
is the perks of business.
Okay.
When you strike a deal involving the trade of barter, roll plus beauty.
Okay.
So I'm basically trying to lower the price by offering to spread the fame of Bardsey and create an ongoing relationship which will raise the price and
Right.
distract me from the loss of my children. Yet further. Fill my life with noise.
Yes. Yes. Busyness and noise.
Exactly.
Go for it.
All right. Here we go. 6 plus 2, 8.
8.
they throw in extra to sweeten the deal, they tell you something free of charge, or I impress them.
Right. I think they're impressed. I think you've kind of sort of baffled them with the science of mechanics. But
Economics 101. It's a bit of a TED talk.
That's right.
On Bardsey.
What's your
TED Talk Bardsey. Welcome to the live
It's
stream.
like Elon Musk just turned up on Bardsey Island. It's like, what we need is a new approach.
Yeah.
Going to attach rockets to Bardsey and drive it around. Yeah. Okay, all right. So
sheep into space.
Yes.
But I like the idea of sweetening the deal for you. I think that they would be willing to give you a discount on the wool if you can do as you say and bring more or increase, inflate the price, but also to bring back a still, or some kind of maybe augmented, rather than doing it in the tin pot in the shed of Adrian.
Thank you, Stoney. You want to say it?
You can. So they offer this. If you bring us a still, we could start exporting the vodka on a slightly more elevated level.
Bardsey brew.
Bardsey brew.
This isn't Scotland. No, I'm sure that could be arranged. I mean, obviously the ships must make a return journey, and in fact, any other merchandise or products that you desire that are difficult to get, I'm sure that we could bring them to Bardsey.
When you say something like the ships must return, you do see Constance kind of blanch at that.
Okay.
She just kind of, it's like a necessary thing but a distasteful thing for her.
Is there a better way, Constance? I say, noticing this.
She says, no, I suppose not. We're private people here. We don't like strangers too much. The thought of many people coming here and meddling in our affairs, and it just strikes me wrong.
I'm sure we can ensure a way of conducting business that lessens the impact of people coming to the island and only trusted crew members coming and picking up the wool, for instance. I'm sure that can be arranged. Or if someone from the island wants to come on the ships, they could be the one who returns to take the bales.
No. Nobody's leaving Bardsey. I like your first idea.
Okay.
I'd like to read the situation.
All right.
It's almost turning to mouth to.
What is happening? Oh, and I got a 6. So.
Can I assist? Do I have to do that before she rolls?
No, you can help.
So I'm reading the situation.
Yep.
It is plus brain. Oh, I haven't got any brain sets around. Charm.
If I only had a brain.
I only get a 6 as well.
A 6. All right. Yeah, you don't feel like you understand what her anger is at this. It's definitely something more than just we want to keep to ourselves. There's something else, and you're not sure.
Is Timothy still lingering about the place?
Yeah. He comes out to the back and walks around with you.
He walks out back of the warehouse.
Yeah.
With a glance at me.
And
I think I will follow him, and I think I will attempt to outsmart.
Oh, you're using a move, Timothy.
8 wool bales. 8 wool bales beckoning.
Well, you see, because I don't want to get more involved with Timothy and betray the one that I truly love back in England.
Right.
But I do have sympathy for the poor boy. I do want to help him. He's obviously terribly afraid of his mother, and I do want to know what's going on here.
Yep.
So I think I will attempt to gently outsmart Timothy.
Come on,
to see if he can tell me.
Say seduce. Just say seduce.
Seduce, but in a nice way.
Oh dear.
Oh, bollocks. For 6 plus my 2 brains, though, I succeed, but I either lose something precious, compromise my principles, or they will know what happened later. I will. Well, I could go and perhaps try and sympathise with Timothy by saying that I too have lived in terror of my mother all my life,
Right.
and I understand what is. I understand how difficult this must be for you, but I can get you away from that dreadful woman if you'll only help us get done what we need to get done. I might even promise him, having overheard that no one leaves Bardsey Island, I might even promise him a place on the boat back with us.
Right.
Ooh.
He looks at you and he says,
With his big soulful eyes and his lovely arms and his really
Bare
sexy floppy hair.
Bare chest.
Yeah, yeah,
Glistening.
yeah.
He's unbuttoned.
Perspiring.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
He's
yes.
It's like
unbuttoned.
Poldark up in here.
Just for those of you at home, painting a Poldark picture in your head.
Yeah.
could you give me the requirements there as well?
Sorry, the requirements for
Yeah.
outsmart. When you are trying to outsmart someone, tell the GM your plan and roll plus brains. I got a 7 and 9. You succeed, but choose one. Lose something precious. Compromise your principles,
Lose something precious, compromise your principles,
or they'll know what happened later.
or they'll know what happened later.
So I meant to say that revealing the truth about myself was to lose something precious or to compromise my principles, but there could be something more.
I was going to say that as you disrobe, perhaps a letter falls out and you don't notice.
I could
No.
show him the letters, but I don't think he doesn't actually know that he's not out. Timothy's not out.
No.
Not even to himself.
Not even to himself.
So he acknowledges. He says, "My mother has she has the best in mind for me. I know she has
They
had a
always
hard
do,
life.
Tim. They always do.
I know she's had a hard life since my father passed 8 years ago, but I don't think I can leave her. I don't think it's right." And he leans forward and kisses you.
Let's see.
And that would be you lose your principles.
Lose
or
my
you-
principles. Yeah, no, it would. No, that's very good. I like that.
So yeah,
Principles. Leaning up against a bale of his own family.
of his own family pins you against the green. Family
You've got Greg on your back.
Nirg.
Where have you been? Oh.
Oh, just checking out the wall.
I think I will lean into it only momentarily before I shove him back and take a deep breath and try to regather myself.
He sort of appears as equally shocked as you, and he's going to bolt if you don't stop him.
Right.
Like cloth.
Well, I mean,
Fiber jokes.
well, I'll tell you what. I will attempt to act with force.
Oh wow!
Oh
try and
wow!
grab
So
him
hang
by the
on,
arm.
you he kissed you. You push him off, and then you pull him back.
That's right. I'll try and snatch him by the arm
Oh,
or
that's
shoulder and
hilarious.
see if I can hold him here.
Okay,
Oh.
all right.
Keep questioning him about what's going on.
Give
Oh
it-
yeah, I'm sure that's the way.
Roll plus brawn, which is not. Oh, in fact, I have a brawn -1. This is going to be
-1
so
brawn.
good.
Oh,
When you
Oh.
question about what's going
But
on,
that's
is
right.
It
Oh,
like,
no, that's
is
not
it like
gonna
in a
work
sexy
well. No,
way?
it's
Is
not.
Is it like what's going on here?
Yeah. His brawnful feel's going to be like
Because
a
having kissed
lingering
me,
touch.
having kissed me, he's quite upset as well.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
He doesn't know what's going on,
No.
so
No.
I've shoved him. He's come at me. I've shoved him off.
Yep.
He now wants to run away.
And then-
I'm trying to grab him by the arm.
Okay.
I have failed spectacularly with
Right.
that roll. So I mean, if I try and grab him by the arm, he's twice the size of me. So I
Yep.
assume he turns around and knocks me out or something. Right?
That is exactly what happens.
Oh, that's what happens.
He gives you the Glasgow kiss, and you
Right.
fall
This
to the
is
ground.
out of sight of these two.
Well, I was
Out of
about to say,
sight.
meanwhile, whilst this
Wait,
is...
just let me
yeah,
because
yeah.
bit of black eye,
Right.
a nice pearler, a shiner. Yeah,
In the time that this has taken,
yeah,
is it possible, having come to a conclusion of our business deal and agreed to bring us still back,
yes.
is it possible that we finish up, shake hands, conclude, and then
walk out to
walk
inspect.
out just to witness, to inspect the goods and witness.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily all of it, but certainly the
punch
and the tail end of it.
Yeah.
And therefore we're ahead of Elspeth, Constance, and Jacob.
Correct.
Okay.
So, yes, you fall to the ground. These guys come out. There's a moment of kind of confusion in what's going on, and then Timothy seems to gather himself.
Is he coming towards us as he bolts?
No, he's just sort of walking.
I think he's running away. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
The big barn doors are at the front there. You're in the office off to the side, so you've come out of the office and he's walking off that way. But he's sort of gathered himself and become the mask again, and he mutters something to his mother like "foreigners," and
is that what they call them on Bardsey?
Yes. Queen and country. Well, apparently not. King George. No, William the Fourth. Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm trying to gather myself, pick myself up off the ground, but thankfully we have a surgeon.
I'm sorry. You just need to take one harm. So as you can see there on your character sheet, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4 of harm, and one harm is something that will heal by itself.
Okay.
So just colour in the 1.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. 4 is something that you're going to imminently die from.
Can I? I get to do this one.
I was really hoping that I could help out here because, if I miss, you fall into a state of hallucination and sense the beyond.
Oh, nice! I've got. So as a keeper of Isaac's secret that he was involved with a student.
Yep.
I've got a couple of things. One is keeper of the trust. The other is when I earn another's sincere gratitude. Or where's the one where I can?
Well, I mean, if Elspeth saw this exchange,
So I can. So basically, as a secret keeper, I can keep your secrets safe, in order to gain a boon. So
I'm a big fan
if you've been punched against the green
awesome.
and you've now got Negrin on your back, if you've turned away with bloodied cheek. As we all walk through and we see this, and then Elspeth is close behind, I'm just going to say loudly, inspecting the product there, whatever the product is, inspecting the product, Tim. Sorry, Isaac.
Yes, no, extremely high quality.
Well,
as good as they all say.
Oh, I can hear.
So, are you attempting to sort of divert the attention?
And I'm going, Charlotte, can you help?
Yeah, I can go over and
lay hands upon my...
rub one of my fish suckers on his face.
My sharky body. All healed.
But I also, I get a sense that something else is going on here. It's not really my business.
So do you have an ability to heal me?
I do have an ability to heal you.
Is it just... Is
but
there a roll involved?
It's a 1. It's going to heal on its own.
It will.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay.
I can roll for it and give it a shot. Oh, look. It's a 6. No, wait, no, it's an 8. No, I just heal you. It's fine.
Excellent.
You take more harm from my... Oh,
well, no, that's the thing. I kind of hope to miss it, because that could have been really exciting.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about this system.
It's a good sign. You almost want them.
It's more fun to fail than it is to actually... Yeah.
I think getting knocked out by Timothy is the highlight of my trip. So
I know, that's very exciting.
All right, I'm well, all seems. I will arrange for my crew to load, or if you would like to take it to the causeway. And
we'll transfer it to the causeway.
Fabulous. Now, I think we're going to go and wander around the island, and I think. Yes, I think we've missed today's tide, so probably we will sail.
Won't be ready for tomorrow until tomorrow anyway.
Of course. But I look forward to doing business with you.
Excellent.
I would like to read.
Are they also wrapped?
Yes.
All 3.
If you make a point to, you do notice the bandages or this undergarment, whatever it is, on their wrists.
And you're reading a situation.
Yeah.
Until tomorrow, then.
I'd like to read the situation generally, because based on what you had said to me last night of some things being more important than business, I wonder if this is what you were talking about or something else.
Okay.
And I don't get it. Well,
6. No, hang on.
Yeah,
Read
we got an 8.
You've got brains.
I get an 8. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can ask 2 of these questions. I'd like to know what here is not what it seems.
Mm-hmm.
From St.
Just generally,
Yeah.
ambiently. And what I should be able to look out for.
I think, from what I've gathered, they aren't what they seem, and they're hiding something.
Yeah, I think that's
and the combination of that is something's happening tonight on the north side of the island.
Yeah.
And that they're somehow different with these wrappings, and I don't know what that
and you're
is,
aware of
this
that, and,
plan.
and have some interest in that, independent of your business.
Yep.
Okay.
We didn't agree on a price of the wool.
No.
But I'm guessing we go with that £1
Yeah, I think that.
But you wanted to purchase all of.
Yeah, but I think that the deal and the ongoing relationship and all that sort of
all of that
is a
is
much more sort of
stable kind of situation.
narrative solution.
You've kind of bought out Bardsey Island. You've acquired Bardsey.
We've got a sole trader kind of comment here.
Vibe
A
going.
sole purchaser agreement.
You
so
become the right.
I'm the basically.
Yes, true. Okay.
So the blue-faced Leicester crossed with the black mountain wool is a thing, at least fiction. So
the Blueface Leicester's an Australian breed.
So once they've gone, I'm going to make rush over and tend to make sure that Isaac's all right, and tell Charlotte and Isaac that they're not what they seem, and how good it is that I don't think you'll be going to the lighthouse this evening.
Well, it will be quite difficult to use the telescope for a while.
I give you a look that's like, no shit.
I think, therefore, maybe the north side of the island?
The north side, very well.
Yes. All right, we're going to go touristing.
Where to first?
Off to the monastery, right?
Well, we've got the monastery, and if the monastery's this creepy place that they don't go to, I think that's probably where we should end up. But if we go up the hill...
Humble Man's Peak?
Yep. If we go up the hill, we can maybe see if there's anything, other ships offshore. See this other expedition, this other... oh no, that's the southern. That's
where they're building. That's where they're building the lighthouse. Can we see the? I mean, I think I am planning to go to the lighthouse later, in hopes of not running into Timothy.
Right.
But I think he might be lingering about there because he
wants to meet you again.
Possibly.
What business do you have at the lighthouse independently of that?
Well, the lighthouse was.
Oh, where you're doing your
tall platform.
Where a platform where I might make my observations, but also that the people of the island are building.
Yeah.
Although if he's waiting to find you there until 10 and you don't show, and then he turns up somewhere else, perhaps you being in that somewhere else might be to mutual benefit.
Yeah.
Or you could get beaten up again. Who knows?
It's possible. But the things we do for love. I think that is, in any case, I can't make my observations until the evening. So I think investigating the monastery, and I have no use for Humble Man's Hill in the middle of the day when I can't make any observations anyway. I think the monastery is the way to go.
You don't want to ramble up a hill?
I don't. Valderie,
City
Valdera, Valderie.
The hills
no,
of life.
we sing the Grand Old Duke of York. When we go
right, of course. Yep. No,
and just to make people upset, we get halfway up the hill and then we turn around and come back down a bit. You're like, what are you doing?
I forgot how to heal.
All right.
I think I just sort of clutch my aching head and stumble along after these two wherever they're going.
Yep.
Monastery it is then. Let's go and check out the monastery.
You head north, and you are walking for perhaps maybe half an hour or an hour, and you notice you have the main road and it continues north, and there is a sort of a small path that heads up to a rocky outcropping, and what could possibly be it looks like a very large granite boulder at the top of this path.
Where's this in relation to north?
So you're about halfway to the north.
Okay.
Yeah.
That looks like a nice flat piece of rock.
I don't think I brought my equipment along for the moment. It is still mid-morning, isn't it?
Yes.
I think at the moment I will. I'm just sort of groaning down the bottom of the hill.
Shall we
reconnoiter? Off you go if you like.
Shall we reconnoiter? Shall we?
You head up this path. It's clear that this is, one person wide kind of thing. So maybe a path that has been beaten by individuals or goats or something like that as time has gone on.
Goats. I mean,
individual goats. And
goats.
you get to the top, and you find this rather large granite outcropping has a cave underneath.
I turn back to. Ooh, this looks interesting.
Yeah, I do. I'm down with caves.
I grab my little vial out of my bag and anoint myself.
Oh, good.
Looks just kind of like I'm putting on perfume. But,
Wrap yourself up.
Wrap myself up a little bit.
Have we a lamp of some sort, or
matches and things like that?
Yeah.
You could maybe fashion a small torch.
Probably a tinder box of some kind.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I mean,
we have the hooch we could use to make torches.
Oh god.
Yeah. But that's highly
The
flammable.
blinding light of 30 torches. Whoa!
Well, I mean,
Got some letters.
we're
Oh!
how dare you, sir?
How
dare you?
I just want
I think,
confirming whether one's affections had been transferred.
we're here now. We are investigating this cave. Are we not? We're not coming this far and then not going inside.
Lead on, Macduff.
Very well. Give me the.
Hooch.
Well, no, I think. Well, no, it's not as though my.
Hold on the letters.
It's not as though even were I to, I think I am perhaps in the mood to burn my letters, but they're not exactly going to be a very good torch, are they? They're going to light the cave for a small of about 15 seconds.
They're going to become a wick.
Oh, I see. In that case, I will take out one of my letters, take one last longing look at it, and then roll it up very tightly and place it in the top of the bottle, and set fire to it.
Bag a few more out of my scarf.
Well,
walk off into the cave holding it.
So we also now have a Molotov cocktail.
Break the system,
or a Bardsey bomb if we need it.
So I will hold that for a torch and lead us into the cave.
Good. All right. Well, you enter the first area, and it is not a very big cave. The first area is maybe the size of a large carriage. So you do, it is quite sort of around a corner, and then it opens out a little bit, and you walk in there. You're stooped. So the roof is quite low, and you're sort of holding the flame around a little bit. You do definitely see signs of habitation. So there's maybe a burnt section of the ground where a fire was, and probably recently, probably in the past sort of 3 or 4 days.
Right.
And the other thing that you kind of notice as you get a bit further in, the flame flickers a little bit, and you can see at about head height there's a tunnel that goes further in. You would need to sort of climb up and get into.
Who's the best climber?
Probably me.
I'm not exactly agile.
Oh, you are too. You've got +2.
That's true. I do have balance. I think if someone, I think I'm not.
Are you still fuggy in the head?
Yes, but I think that's actually contributing to my desire to see this through. I'm not exactly heroic, and I'm not exactly brave. I think I'm being carried along by sheer bloody-mindedness, bloody-mindedness and annoyance and misery at this stage. So I will say, if someone will hold this flame and give me a leg up, I will check this out.
All right.
I'll
And I'll fix my collar, even though by this stage it's completely filthy.
Right.
I'll grab the bottle and pass it to you, Charlotte, and then
I will be looking through my bag to make sure I've got all the requisite
I do the
things
good
in
old
case
fashioned.
something goes wrong.
I do the good old fashioned.
Hoik, and up I go.
All right. It's not particularly difficult. You do sort of just need to keep the various walls and ceilings just in place.
Into the sphincter.
Into the mouths of hell.
Yeah.
Literally,
and then you get up there and it's obviously quite dark, black.
You need to dodge.
I can't see a bloody thing.
Can we pass up the torch?
Sure.
Yes. I'll nudge it along in front of me as I crawl.
All right. You move only about a metre down this sort of corridory kind of thing, and it opens up again into a, maybe a size of something where somebody could sleep. And
I pass the flame along the ground. Do I see any evidence of someone sleeping?
Yes, there's definitely some straw here that seems to have been put in here. You don't see any other reason why it would be in here. And then you are sort of looking around the area, and you, quite to your shock, you see something drawn in charcoal on the wall.
Ooh.
Well, you got it prepared. Oh, look at you champion.
So there we go. That's what you
scribbled in charcoal on the wall.
Can't see it.
Yeah.
I think I will call, echoing back through the cave. I'll call to the others that there's something drawn on the wall here.
As you look at it,
is there room for more than one?
Yes, in this section you could probably climb up.
Charlotte,
shall we?
So I'm going to help you up.
Oh, I'm going up. Okay, cool. All right, up I go.
Cool.
Yeah, so you managed to get in there too.
As hoisting up, does all of her scarves and things stay in place, or does something
that's not bad.
slip out?
Could we roll for that? Could we
acting under pressure?
Act under pressure.
Yeah. Okay. I've got.
You do it.
No,
yeah, 10.
You do it.
No one will know my
fingers. Everything.
The secret remains.
Well, I wonder, now that you have seen this drawing, do you sense anything about that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Does that remind you of anything freaky from your freakiness?
From my freaky past.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I see that, and it's not something I've ever seen in my life, but things I've heard stories about. What is this? The Hedgehog of Death?
Echidna.
Yeah.
Porcupine. Did he draw this?
Francis did.
Nice.
So
it's glorious.
It's like Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So
can you sense?
Let's do a sense.
Oh man!
No, you wasted your roll.
Wait,
Giving your secret save.
No,
Yeah,
that's
it's
okay.
a 6. Wait, no, it's a 5. 7.
7.
Oh, okay.
So I receive fragments and mysteries. Great.
The temperature in the cave drops
As I come in.
as and you feel a deep hunger. It's like something is
sort of hunger.
seeking. And
I'm not sure you can understand it. I feel.
Who has a Snickers?
and there's definitely all of a sudden you can see your own breath in this cave that was previously fairly mild, and then the moment passes and the temperature in the cave returns to normal.
Whoa.
You definitely feel like you saw the back of this drawing kind of shimmer a little bit.
I'd like to read that situation.
All right.
7, 9.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what should I be on the lookout for? And what's my best way in? I want to know more. I don't want to escape this. I want to know what's going on here.
All of your instincts tell you that this is a creature that is that's nocturnal.
Right. Okay.
And the darker the night, the more active they will be.
It's tonight.
Tonight is the dark of the moon, is it not?
It is.
Mm.
And
It's the worst Transformers movie.
and as a result, so that was your best way in. And what was the other one?
What should I be on the lookout for? Or actually, who or what is most vulnerable to me?
Who or what is most vulnerable to you?
Yeah.
It feels like the farmers of Bardsey are vulnerable to you if you choose to take a certain route, a certain path.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones who will be hurt the most by your actions.
Mm.
Yep.
Mm.
It's probably whatever this thing is has some sway over how these sheep are growing and
Severity, right?
We have
any other crops in
some of the
island.
rest of the day to pass. I think we need to go and find the man who was injured while reef fishing.
Yeah.
Do we not?
That's
I think we want to go find him. Yeah.
that's north. That was north as well. That was a shack by the sea on the north.
I
So
think he lives around
yeah,
here.
I'm not gonna let you guys in on my past, but I'm gonna say I think we should come back this evening
Mm.
and poke around.
Back to the cave in the north.
This is kind of in the northwest, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
tonight I may be down in the south at the lighthouse. So you may go back if you like.
Would you reconsider finding a amenable spot up here, Mr. Party, Mr. Party
possibly.
Breaker?
Well,
Possibly.
before-
Let's see.
Before
what,
we heard about the existence of the lighthouse, you thought that the monastery would be a good spot.
This is true. This is
Before
true.
that was the hill. Do you even know what you're doing?
No, well, I may secretly be wanting to run into somebody at the lighthouse.
Not very secret, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Have you tried inviting him to a different party?
Is
Have you tried asking him out for a drink?
Is that Shiner not giving you any heat?
There's a nice bar down in town. I think
There
I
is.
will make my decision after we seek out the fisherman who was injured.
Okay.
I think there are more answers there,
Right.
and then we can make a decision. He lives hereabouts, does he not?
He does. There are, I guess, two ways to get to the coast from here. You can, so you've walked up the main north-south road. You've walked into the cave.
Mhm.
You could then continue to get to the beach
Mm-hmm.
and walk up the beach, or you could backtrack and go and try and find it that way.
It was a shack by the sea.
I think we probably backtrack to the beach. Do we not?
Continue on this path.
Or unless we... Oh, sorry.
Are we all right?
I'm not sure that one looks like how this one's
So we push through the...
got.
Okay.
It's saying offline. I'm not sure.
Can people tell if we're online?
Can I make a quick duck to the bathroom while we resolve
course.
the technical issue?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry.
I think
Did we disappear? Chat, hello? The chat's not saying. Oh, that's so weird.
that's me.
Yeah, that's you getting
Okay.
out so weird.
Live chat.
So we're dropping frames. I am. And this is because they're watching a movie upstairs. They're streaming a movie.
Your internet's being put through its paces. Pixelated a bit.
Okay.
Will you be the most unpopular man in the
I would
history
probably.
of the world?
Well, let me go and do that.
I like this thing. It's very cool.
Very different.
And I like this system.
That's a lovely system.
What was your descriptor again?
I'm the confidant. Talk about secrets for me.
And you don't have one of your own, you just collect other people's?
Oh, the death of my children is
Ah.
not something I share.
How are we going?
Just saying pixelated, no more. Nothing else to say.
No more info than that?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, I don't want to look more. Well, it looks like we've had a consistent 8 people watching the entire time.
Yeah.
Hello to all of you. I think we probably can get all their names. Miles and Stony and Glint.
Dennis.
Bix Noodles. Fufutuki.
All right.
Edison, Mr. Invisible, if you're still with us.
So you're continuing on to the beach?
Yes. Does continuing onto the beach involve pushing through the cave?
That's the same path we're on, so the cave's off the...
Right. There is nothing more to be explored in the cave.
No, you'll need to exit the cave.
Yep.
And continue on overland towards the beach.
Right.
All right.
I think that's what we will do.
Very well. You manage to traverse across the land. It's sort of, a bit scrubby and heathy, and you get to an area where you're overlooking the beach, but there appears to be some kind of like a cliff or a very steep ravine that goes down to the sand.
I think there appears to be only one path. We'll have to struggle our way through.
Yep.
We will. None of us are really equipped for spelunking, but between us we can probably manage to scramble and tumble and fall down to the
won't
sand.
walk up a hill, but happy to tumble down to the sand. Right.
All right.
Use my crochet hooks as crampons if we need.
I think we want to act with force or act under pressure.
Act under pressure.
Act under pressure.
See if I fall down and come a gutser on me.
Are we all going down?
I think so.
7.
7?
Mm-hmm.
7 for me as well.
Oh no, 5. No. Balance, not wrong.
Oh dear.
Yeah, no, I flip. Right.
Ooh, 12.
12. All right.
I leap.
Fish person instinct.
There's
flying fish.
There's yes, sort of the polar opposites of here, and you're kind of in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Yes, I just sort of slide down on my bum.
So you would definitely take a fall.
I'm taking a fall.
So I would give you 1 harm. Could you tell me what injury you have?
So I think I'm basically trying to that, and then I think I'm going to graze my hands as I try and stop myself from falling in on the rocks. And
yep.
So I've got grazed hands.
All right. So there's probably a deep cut.
Yeah, deep
I think.
cut and abrasions on my hands.
Yep. All right.
And I show them to Charlotte. Oh, what?
Yeah, I can heal you. Alright. No, I can't.
It's not a particularly challenging.
Sorry, I rolled a 6.
And what's your skill?
Do not heal my patient, and they fall into a state of hallucination and sense the beyond. From a skinned hand.
From a skinned hand. Mind you, if the creatures clambered over these rocks, maybe some of its substance got into me, and that's what's.
If you're bleeding, if you have an open wound and she lays her sucker paw upon it,
maybe
it can't be a good thing.
All right.
You're starting to slip beyond the veil, and I let you in on my secret.
Ooh.
Right, because you have to drag him back from the brink.
Yeah.
Right.
From Grace Palm.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I grabbed the little vial of salt water that I usually carry, and I grab a little bit of secretion from my neck, rub it on your hands, and you watch as they heal up.
Right, they heal before me.
And so you've collected another seed?
I have collected another seed.
I don't think I notice any of this.
No.
All right. Yes, you've just managed to slide down and get
That's
to...
why her cabin always smelled of calamari.
I knew there was a reason I liked you.
All right, and being by the ocean is fairly pleasant, especially for you, Charlotte. This is kind of the salt smell and the sun. It's the fog is starting to lift at this point, and it looks like it's going to be a fairly clear night. But you walk along the beach for maybe another half an hour before seeing something in the distance, a shack with a a chimney and smoke coming out of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And off we go. Did we have a name for the injured fisherman?
We didn't. No.
We don't have a name for the injured.
Shall,
Chat, a name for the injured fisherman?
so we
Yes,
shall
please.
traipse off towards the fisherman's shack.
Injured fisherman names. Hooksy. No.
Hooksy.
No, they haven't. No, that was me. Sorry.
All right, good.
Something fishy about healing ability. Oh, right.
About
No,
something
no,
fishing
no.
about your healing abilities.
Healing abilities.
They're very true. All right.
Well, they do talk about the healing power of fish oil.
Oh,
This is true. Just cod liver
I'm
oil.
just filled with omega-3s.
You are talking about secretions and all
Yeah,
that sort of
yeah.
stuff. All right, you come across the. We will call him Philip Mayhew.
Liam.
Liam?
Liam is good.
Liam is good. So Liam Mayhew is the gentleman that you are after. You
As we approach the shack, is he visible?
No, he's not outside.
Okay. So I think I'm traipsing off in the lead because I'm a little bit grumpy and fed up. But as we approach the shack, I believe I will defer to St. John as the face of the group.
Yep.
I think perhaps you should make the running with Mr. Mayhew. Not exactly in a talking mood.
Oh, but you are learning. That's what's most important.
Yeah.
I say there, Mr. Mayhew.
The door opens and a fairly tall gentleman steps out. How long ago was the accident? It was a while ago.
It was a while
right?
ago.
It was a
Weeks,
week or
weeks,
something.
yeah.
So he may still be injured.
Well, he got some cuts on his leg, and then they fed him full of booze and put him to bed. So yeah, I can't see why he wouldn't have healed up perfectly.
So yeah, he's got a bit of a bandage on his elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Different
And
from the wrappings the rest of the people wear.
that's a bit different. He strides out and he says, "Can I help you?"
Mm.
3 tourists from the mainland. We've come to Bardsey on business, and we're just spending the afternoon looking around the island, and we happened onto the beach, and we were told about your escapade a couple of weeks ago by the barkeep. The publican told us about your adventure on the reef.
And since we have a surgeon here, we thought you might like to avail yourself of treatment for your wounds.
And the mere collection of stories, because that's always fun.
Mm.
I raise my hand and say, I am not a vet.
He says, "Oh, it's very, very kind of you. Here on business, you say?"
Yes, I'm trading for wool.
Bardsey has that in spades. It does too.
Is there any left of our hooch?
Sure.
I've brought some liquid with which you may be acquainted from Adrian.
Oh, Adrian. Well, always nice to see that he's been plying his trade. Come in.
Lovely.
He seems to be turning a little bit at this point.
Lovely. I'll gather 4 rustic cups.
Yes.
Pour us all a drink.
Yep.
How quaint.
So,
This one has dirt in it.
I won't drink from it. That's all right. So tell us. Now, what's this reef fishing business? What does that involve?
Oh, it's tricky. The best time is when the sea has it up a little bit, and you walk out on the rocks, and you need to try and get out as far as you can without getting washed away. And it's merely using a rod and line.
That sounds very dangerous.
Well, the fish out there, they're growing nice and big now. I throw back the ones that are yet to breed and make more, but it's not hard. You don't need to spend long out there now. It's a good time of year, and fish are plentiful. You don't need to spend too much time out there risking your neck to get a feed.
No, but what happened this last expedition? Or have you been out since?
Oh no, I've been out since, but I gotta feed myself. It's don't wanna cut into my stores too much. No, it's I took a wrong turn and slipped on the rock, fell in, and fortunate for me, there was some friends who were fishing with me, and they pulled me out.
Oh, and these injuries you sustained, they're healing well?
Oh, it's hurting a little bit when it rains, but other than that, it can't complain.
Would you like Charlotte to take a look? She's a remarkable healer. I say, looking at my own hand.
Almost supernatural, you might say. It says, "Oh, okay," and he unwraps his elbow.
Doing your job for you.
He looks a bit skeptical. And, he's not too sure.
Yeah. So I'd like to read this situation.
Okay.
No. I feel like he sees something in me that I'd like to get a little bit of a read on before I say anything to him.
All right.
So I'll go with acting under pressure and roll a 7.
Plus balance.
So.
Sure.
I falter, buckle, or break. The GM can offer me a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice.
I think maybe acting under pressure is not quite the right thing there, because that's sort of a little bit more forceful. It's more kind of
it's more action oriented, right?
Yeah, it's more action oriented. Maybe manipulating another.
Yeah, okay.
Is the better one?
And a shot, I like it. I roll a
5.
Isn't that a 7?
Plus beauty?
3.
Oh wait, no, it's 7. Sorry.
7 plus beauty. What's your beauty?
I have no beauty.
7.
Yeah.
7 is
7. Yeah, okay.
A success. So what is the
They change
conditions
terms to suit themselves or demand concrete assurance first.
All right. So where is your training? He sort of holds his elbow.
Well, I've been all over, really.
Lots of places.
Yeah.
Many good schools.
A fish. I got most of my surgical training in London, but I've been working on many ships since then, traveling all over, healing lots
ships.
Of, yeah.
So you've been tending to seamen.
That is not how I do my healing.
and then he says, "Yeah, bro, up top."
So the mention of the ship kind of makes him a bit more interested, and he sort of presents his elbow.
So I understand you sustained these injuries in the ocean.
I did.
Do you know how you obtain them? Do you know how you obtained them? Do you know what may have inflicted them?
Well, I slipped on the rock, and the sea took me under, and I think I got my arm trapped in a crevice.
Yeah.
And it gave it a bit of a twist, and I don't know much else.
So, I take a look at his arm, and those are definitely claw marks.
On his no.
Okay.
What it looks like is he's definitely broken it, and it's healed kind of a bit poorly.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, we're gonna set his arm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I can let him know as much. Your arm was broken, and the way that it's healed, it will be functional, but you'll never have the same strength in it that you might need to fish.
He looks very uncomfortable at that. And says, I need to fish.
Well, I bring out Adrian's brew. I'm sure we can assist you if you would like.
I could help you fix it. It may involve a little bit more pain, a little bit longer healing time, but it will heal correctly.
He looks over in the corner, and there's kind of a smoker there, and he sort of says, I think I can afford to maybe spend a couple of weeks recuperating. Is it going to be longer than that?
Probably about a month. Broken arms probably about 2 months.
I need to fish. Okay. He grabs the drink off you and starts.
Yeah.
Were there any other injuries first? Just in case.
Nope. Nothing else. No.
Did we not
read
hear
that
about
situation, please? I'm going to read you like a book. Brain, brother. I misread that deliberately.
Well, I mean, I can read the situation.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, but I rolled an 8
Ooh.
without needing
Nice.
it.
I got a 12. So.
All right.
Oh,
So
nice.
you.
I got a 10.
So I would, with your bond,
Mhm.
I would allow you to make that a 10. So what can you do with the 10?
Ask three of the
Ask three.
of the questions. I think.
Okay.
Who or what is in control here? By which I mean, who is Liam afraid of?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Who or what
And
is
what,
Liam afraid of?
And what here is not what it seems. We asked 3.
Oh, 3.
We can ask 3 on a 10, yeah.
And our biggest threat, I suppose, or look out for.
I think it's going to be Elspeth.
Yes,
I think who's in control here?
Who or what is in control here? So, what is Liam afraid of?
What is not what it seems?
And
Although we probably know that, don't we?
well, probably what's our best way out or way past?
Yeah, what's
As
our
in,
way
what's
past?
our next
Yeah,
thing
what's our
to
best
do
way
with
past? Because you got the way in, didn't you?
Yeah.
But we don't know that because you didn't tell us.
Yeah. Well, you guys don't know what
What was your way? What was your way past? That you didn't tell us.
my way in was. I have to come by evening. On the
Yeah,
right,
come on the
that
darkest
which-
night to the
Right.
cave. Yeah.
Right, I see.
What's your first question?
Our first question would be, Liam, what are you afraid of? Who is demanding that you keep your silence here?
So, you're asking these questions before this.
We're going to invent bedside manner. That's what we're going to do. my young Padawan.
Yes.
So we're going to apply him with Hooch.
Okay.
So he's going to take a big gulp.
That's
It's all right, Liam. Everything's going to be fine.
yes.
Now, who are you afraid of?
Right. He's.
I'm gonna try to roll for manipulation here and see if
Okay.
that can help us out a bit.
Oh,
Yeah, got it.
Uh-huh.
That's neat.
not the bone.
Huh?
Not the
Manipulate the
bone.
bone.
Yeah. I mean, we can absolutely hold that
Oh,
over his head.
just
Like,
re-break it.
I'm offering. I can offer it. I have to re-break it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't have to
No.
re-break it. I can just leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you afraid of? Is that right?
Mm.
Yeah, he's pretty clearly afraid of kind of Elspeth and her 2 enforcers, but the whole council is holding something over him.
I'm going to reach down onto his left shin.
Yep.
And give it a slight squeeze.
He flinches.
Yep.
Yeah. You can also feel underneath his trousers. There's another piece of cloth.
And then I'm going to ask him, tell us who's in control here. Blah, alcohol.
Who is in control here?
Does Liam fully
Now,
understand who is
I
in
want the
control
best for
here?
Bardsey because I'm set to make a huge amount of profit.
absolutely.
Not that that's important, but it will distract me.
Nobody's in control here. We're all slaves.
Slave
We're all slaves.
to
The music? Is it the music, Liam?
We're all slaves because we all want to live a life of ease, and we all want to fill our tummies. We all just want to get along.
It's rather existential for a fisherman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. As Stoney says, 3 strangers come into your house and want to break your arm. Which is what we're currently doing, holding him down on his kitchen table.
I'm a doctor.
Yeah. Fish doctor. No, not a vet.
Fish doctor. I am a fish who is a doctor and got a doctor
Yes,
fish.
there's a comma in there, people.
Okay. What are you going to
Well,
do?
I mean, can I make an attempt? We have not managed to manipulate or ply.
We've got one more
Liam,
question.
can I-
We've got one more question.
You got one more question.
Yeah.
We've got
Oh,
10,
okay.
we get 3 questions. Yeah,
Right. Well, I mean, at this point, we can probably ask flat out. Well, we wanted our best way. We wanted our best way in or out or past. So we need to ask.
Is there no escape? Or something?
Well, is there no or how can we help you, Liam? How can we help you? How can we help you and the other farmers of Bardsey?
Ah.
Escape?
Or yeah,
I
I suppose.
Gain freedom?
Well, they don't necessarily want to leave.
No, they want a life of ease.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like they want freedom. It sounds like they've made a devil's bargain that they're just, occasionally regretful of, but mostly benefiting from.
How can we help you?
Where's the? Can I read his thoughts?
Well,
He
if he doesn't give us much on this, I'm going to attempt to outsmart him.
Okay. He says, there's no help. There's no help, and he stands up and kind of pushes you away. So he's going to act with force.
Okay.
Oh,
Can I restrain him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can.
Opposed roll?
Opposed roll.
Nice. Act with force. Oh dear. I get a 6.
All right.
I
He
got a
gets
shot.
he gets an 8.
I rolled an 11. Can I back you
You
up?
can-
or
you can assist me.
physically
Yep.
stand behind you and push you into him?
Yep.
So he flings you to one side. He's incredibly strong.
Right.
You're quite surprised.
Yep.
And he keeps screaming, "There's no escape!" And he pushes open the door to his house and barges out through it. What would you like to do next?
Is there a net?
Yes.
Yeah, please do this.
Yeah, I'm going to net him.
Okay, so you're gonna have to run after him.
Yep, run after him and net him.
So he's heading down towards the beach.
Okay, I'm going to try and stop him before he gets there.
Force or pressure?
Act with force.
Act with force. Right. That's a 9.
Oh, no dignity for Liam, caught like a fish.
He
I need to fish. I'm getting really into my work.
the net goes over him and forces him to the ground, and he's pulling at it, and I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to pay the tithe. No, don't make me. You can't make me do this.
Okay. Right.
That's why he needs his arm back.
I'm going to cradle him in the net. I'm not going to take the net off him.
Okay.
I'm going to cradle him inside the net. What is the time?
He starts to cry, and he says, "We have to seed the ocean with blood. We have to seed the fields with blood.
Whose blood?
Our
The human body contains 8 pints of blood. You can stand to lose too.
At a time.
Yeah.
And it regenerates in a really quick amount of time.
Especially if you're a fish.
Yeah.
And I think we might call
Take
it
a
a
break.
scene there. That's our show for today. I think we shall.
Oh, what? No way! Cooking.
Bam, bam,
Push
So
on.
we're going to have to pick this up at some other point in the future. So that was all we had time for. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and comment, and press the notification button so that you are notified when we are streaming again.
Push on till midnight?
Do that. I gotta know how this ends.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. God.
So yes, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you again next time.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Lovely to see you.